everybody. Welcome to my channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, a member of the NBK Network. The draft is 2 days away. Probably about this time, 2 days from now, the Knicks might be on the clock. I'm joined today with my resident panelists, Stafford Don and Jarrell, and we're going to talk about our final big board for the Knicks, who we would draft after having talked about the Knicks, talked about the draft picks, being familiar with their needs. Who would we pick at this point? And then at this time of year, there's always a lot of rumors in terms of trades in the draft. Free agency is coming up, so we'll talk about some of that as well. But fellas, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Salute, Stafford. Salute, Steph. The Queen is in the building once again. Another week. We're going to have a great show. It's the last show before the draft, so yeah, I'm excited, man, and I'm excited to go to the actual draft party.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well.
Why you had to bring that up,
I'm
Jarrell?
sorry, man. My bad, man. I'm sorry. My
We
bad.
had a
Nah,
few
nah, nah,
people
nah.
drop out. Freezy dropped out. He can't make it. And
Oh,
then
he did?
somebody else dropped
What?
out.
Wow.
Yeah. Unless something
Oh
has
wow.
changed since he was on Queen's Court.
Wow.
Oh wow. Wow.
Oh
But
well.
shout out to you, Queen. You already know it's always be a pleasure to be on here. I am
Appreciate it.
Jarrell. You already know. Uh Knicks. What can we say? We've been on this team for many years. So I think Thursday is a big night. Um, we've been hearing a lot of trade rumors, a lot of
Mhm.
players talking about moving around. So it's definitely going to be a real dope show tonight. So
Yeah,
big
we
up to
got
the chat.
we got a lot to get into. When we start talking about trades or proposed trades, we all have our favorite players. I'm more attached to the Knicks overall than any particular player, though I do like players on this team. But I know some Knicks fans are really fans of particular players, and it might be a tough time for them over the next few days, especially coming into free agency with just the talk of who
Right.
might be moved. Shout out to the chat, Building Blocks, Harlem Girl, Anthony Grant, D School 7, the coolest 718. Appreciate you. All right, let's start with the mock draft before we get into the rumors and things like that. We pretty much went over bigs, we went over guards, we went over wings. Um, who you got? 2 days before the draft. Who's your number one pick if you're on the clock? Um, and the
Well,
Knicks
I'll
are
let you
picking.
go, Jarrell. I'll let you
okay.
go.
Well, the very first time I was on this show, you asked me the same question,
Mhm.
and it was the very first question you ever asked me.
Oh,
My pick
really?
was Jalen Duran then.
Hmm.
Is Jalen Duran now. I haven't changed at all. I think Mitch is going to walk, and I would like
Oh
Jalen Duran
wow.
on this team. So I haven't changed at all. It's been like a month probably. We've been doing our studying and whatever. I still want Jalen Duran unless we move up. We'll talk about that later. But
Right.
if Jalen Duran is on at 11, I don't see any. Most of the wings that I like will probably be gone. So I think it will be an easy choice for me, depending on who falls or who
That was my
rolls.
question to you. Are you
Hmm.
taking him over any of the wings if they're on the board?
Um, Ben Matherin, uh, Daniels. Mm, that might be about it because I'm taking him over Johnny Davis. Most of the wings that I like is like trade down, acquire assets type of guys like Jalen Williams and um, like Bryce McGowan. There's a
Mhm.
couple other wings I like too, but most of the ones that's high, yeah, I could take or leave them, but I want Jalen Duran.
Okay. All right. Staffer.
Oh well, Jarrell, we was on the same page, but I had a rumor today
Oh,
that they are looking to sign Mitch to a multi-year deal.
mm. Yeah, that changes
So,
everything.
so that because me and you, we Jalen Duran fans, and I
Right,
trust me. All last night, Queen took him as her pick also too.
right, right, right.
Mhm.
So that was my pick. But since I have seen that, people might be surprised at my pick right now.
Okay.
I'm going AJ Griffin.
Wow.
Wow.
AJ Griffin,
I'm
that's
going. I'm going.
intriguing. Why AJ
I'm
Griffin?
going with I'm going with the sharpshooter. I'm
Mm.
going with the sharpshooter because I feel like, you know what, we gonna get into that later. Go ahead, Queen. I don't want to. I don't want to bring it
But
up. Go ahead.
I have a question about Griffin though.
Go ahead.
So that's if they re-sign Mitch, or even if they don't re-sign Mitch, you're still going with Griffin,
If all right, if they don't resign Mitch, I'm staying with my original pick,
which
Okay.
is
Jalen Durant.
okay.
We signed Mitch. AJ Griffin on the board. I'm taking him.
But Stafford, hold on though. But the draft is before free agency. So what if Mitch, say from his camp, we get good news, we draft AJ Griffin, and then we get bad news from Mitch and don't sign him.
Well, I'm not anticipating that. I really feel like if it reported from Ian Begley and he
Hmm.
is a good source, I'm rolling with it.
Okay.
I'm rolling with it. I'm rolling
Okay.
with it.
Ian Begley is a good source though. Salute to Ian.
Yeah, I think my number one pick has changed. I think the first time we did this, I'm trying to remember. I think I might have had Ben Mathurin one.
Hmm.
I
Mhm.
don't anticipate Ben Mathurin being there at 11.
Me either.
So Jalen Duran is my pick, and I'm kind of surprised that all three of us really like him. Um, that doesn't often happen, especially for a center.
Hmm.
But I just like him.
Yep.
I just like him. And the thing with wings is that you have to hit on them.
Hmm.
A lot of
Right.
people say, there's a better chance of becoming an all-star with a wing than a center, and that's true, but you got to hit on that wing.
Right.
So I like Doran. If Mitch doesn't sign now, if we get word that Mitch is signing, and Mathurin is off the board,
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say I'm souring a little bit on Dyson Daniels. I'm not gonna say that. Somebody in the chat said that building blocks, and I kind of
Building
agree
blocks.
with him a little bit. In terms of his strategy, I soured on Dyson Daniels at 11. Definitely don't want to give up any assets to move up for him, and I'm kind of there. You know what brought me there? Watching Dale and Terry's tape.
Really?
Mm.
Watching Dale and Terry's tape. Um,
Okay.
But and let me ask you, I know this is a roundabout way before I get into
Hmm.
my question, but let me just finish building about. Rather move down a little for Dell and Terry, but think he's talking about the same person I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Plus, get a
Yeah,
second round pick
Arizona.
in the process, better value all around. The question I have for you, Jarrell, because you watch college basketball, is why do you think Dyson Daniels is ranked so much higher than Terry when both of them have issues scoring, but Dale and Terry probably has a little more issues in terms of shooting.
Hmm.
I think Dyson Daniels may be a little further along in terms of his 3-point shooting, though it still needs work.
Hmm.
But is it that much of a difference between the two that one is ranked in the top two and the other one is ranked in the late first?
Well, I mean, age probably has a lot to do with it.
Right.
Dyson Daniels was put in like the professional system since he was like like 14, 13, 14. So remember he
Mm-hmm.
played overseas first.
Mm-hmm.
And Terry is more like a late bloomer. Like he was, I don't think he was a McDonald's All American or anything. And
Okay.
he got a lot of attention taken away from him because of Ben Mather and Coloco, the center.
Coloco.
Right.
So he wasn't even like, maybe he might have been like the third or fourth option on the team really. So
Right.
because of that, his playmaking, shined when it came to that. So will I take Terry over Dyson Daniels? I'm not sure, just because of the intangibles, and
Right.
Daniels might end up being a better defender, and he's younger. And
Right.
even though Terry is a good playmaker, that doesn't necessarily mean he's better at it than Daniels. And since Daniels is younger,
Hmm.
that's why he's being picked in the lottery, and Terry is.
Right. That he has more time. By the time he gets to Terry's age, he may be a totally different.
And
Um,
6'10". Like you never know.
And,
Like he's still
and
growing.
can I
that's
just add
true.
to that also
Yes,
too?
that's true. Yes.
And I believe so. He's been in the NBA system, uh,
Hmm.
Dyson.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
he knows how the NBA runs. He knows the grind. Than a young 19-year-old just coming from freshman college.
Right.
So he's gonna have that experience over Terry. So that's why
Right.
he may be higher than him. You
Right.
know, yeah,
And
that's my
and and
opinion
have
on
a
that.
higher ceiling. So yeah,
Yes.
I'm going Duran at 11 over Johnny Davis, in my opinion, over AJ Griffin. But this is the question I have about AJ Griffin, only because of the injuries. If where would Griffin rank on your board if injuries weren't an issue and he
Ooh.
still had the athleticism he had, I don't know, at some point, maybe his
In high
freshman
school.
year, because he seemed like he got
In high
injured
school.
Yeah,
in high school. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will still have him top 10. I will still have him top 10,
So
Hmm.
or
he wouldn't.
even lottery, or even just lottery in general. 1 through 4, not 1 through 14, but let's say 7 through 14,
Okay.
around there.
I was never the biggest fan of AJ Griffin. It's just something about his game, and I'm not the biggest fan of his. And I'm not a huge fan of the way he shoots too. Even though he's a very good shooter. That base, his wide base, kind of throws me off a little bit. How he's gonna
Yeah.
get that off in the league?
But
Right.
I still think he could get to his spots though. You
Hopefully.
know, I'm not going hopefully. I think he will get to his spots.
Okay.
What I've been hearing about him, that he has trimmed down a little bit.
Hmm.
He's not that stocky like how you seen him in college.
Hmm.
I think his shot is going to be. I think his shot is just spectacular, man. Because I mean, I'm not saying he's Steph Curry,
Hmm.
but once he gets that ball in the corner and he shoots it, he's making it at least 90% of the time, and he's a very uh, catch and shoot. So imagine RJ coming down the lane, they double team, whoop, catch, shoot, easy three. I'm just looking at that dynamic that we don't have on the team as a sharpshooter. We don't have any sharpshooters. I want to go into something else, but it's gonna go into something else. But I think AJ. I
You
think
taking him over
AJ.
Davis,
Of course, I listen.
even with the injuries?
Like what you said last night, I
Yeah.
don't. There's something missing from that kid to me that I don't. He has, as you would say, he has a good floor, but we don't see the ceiling for him,
I don't.
right?
And I could be wrong. I could be
I
very
could be
wrong.
wrong too, but to me, if you gotta be a NBA star, you gotta at least gotta score 3 levels, and he don't. He just have 2 levels right now.
But
That's mid
but
range and,
mhm.
probably rebounding as a good, and going to the basket, layups and all of that. Fine, but this is a 3 point league now, and if
Hmm.
you can't shoot that three, I mean, shout out to my boy, the Rosa, the 2 point specialist. Yes, but this is a 3 point league now.
But do you think he can't develop it? Because all of the players coming out of the draft is going to have something that they need to work on, and if they're able to do it, that they're going to approach their ceiling, whatever it is. And if they're not able to do it, then oh well. I think about who was the guy that Cleveland drafted ahead of Obi Toppin, who was a very good defensive player but couldn't shoot.
Okoro, was it
Yeah.
Okoro.
Okoro?
And
Okoro.
and and everyone was saying the same thing. When he gets that shot and he puts it together, he's going to be a two-way player. And I mean, I think he's gotten better in his shooting, but he's not there yet. So that's what you're banking on, that whatever is missing in these
Well,
guys.
Queen,
Mhm.
to me, you should have been shooting it in college from since. That's just my opinion. That's just me, right? You should have that type of repertoire in your game from high school to college, and now you're coming to the NBA and you can't shoot a three. You're at least 31, 30%.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a knock on him.
But you
You
don't
know what I
think
mean? So I just,
you don't think it's going to
just,
improve?
I mean, it could improve, but me, I'm just not a big Johnny Davis fan, and I've been saying that from early in the year, from the time I seen him flop at the Wisconsin and WAC NCAA tournament.
Mhm.
It just give me a flat tire. Yeah, a pothole, I should say.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
again, Doran, if Mitch resigns, that's a tough one. If Mitch resigns, it's tough because I like Branham, not necessarily at 11.
Right.
I'm not a big Johnny Davis fan. AJ Griffin scares me
His
because of the
injuries,
injuries. Who else? Sohan and Eason, I like them, but not at 11.
not at 11.
I
Ben
like I like the
Math
Joker. I like the Joker too.
at
Jovic.
11.
Um, I wish we could trade down, but if we're going to talk about the other people that you named at 11,
Mhm.
I would group him in there with him.
With them. Yeah. So I don't really have anyone that I'll probably be Dyson if he, if he's there. Somebody's gonna slip in this draft.
They
Um,
always do.
yeah, somebody is gonna slip in this draft, and it's gonna be somebody that you didn't think would be available that falls at 11, and watch the Knicks won't take him.
Mess around, be Ben Mathurin, and we still don't take him.
Oh
and we
my god.
and yeah,
Yeah, that will piss me off right there.
and we
Yeah,
don't
that will
take him.
piss me off.
But I did read. Remember, we were talking about how the Knicks didn't work out any centers. They did work out Mark Williams out of Duke.
Did they?
Okay.
They did work him out. He mentioned it, but I didn't hear anything about Duran.
Right. To be honest, I don't really take that much into the workouts,
Mm,
especially with this front office. Like, I just don't. I see smoke
Wow.
screens and all types of stuff coming out of that camp since they've been there.
So let me ask you this, Jared. Why wouldn't you take the workout serious? Would you just because you've seen him in college, you would just say, all right, that's him, or
No, they
you're saying the workout is just a waste of time because I know how he is already.
not a waste of time. I think they bring in certain players to throw smoke screens off for other teams, if that makes sense. Because Mark Williams already had a pro day. You have a lot of tape on him at Duke. He's not going to do anything for you in your workout that he didn't do at the pro day, unless you want to do it specifically with like people on your roster, like some of the young guys on your roster. Say if it was like a pick and roll or whatever. Say like him and IQ would be running the pick and roll or something like that. You'll see how that would work. But other than
So
that, why are you bringing Mark Williams in?
all right, so let me ask you this. Suppose it's not even a workout. Suppose it's just to sit down and watch film and have a good interview and talk to him and see where his personality is at and get to
Yeah, I can
know him.
see that. I can see that. But then I think you
Okay.
have there's only a number of players you can do that for. And obviously we pick at 11. I just don't like watch we get somebody that we didn't work out.
right. So
That's what
I
I
hear
think
what
it
you're
is.
saying. Not that the workouts aren't important,
Right.
but don't put too much into who they bring in, and don't think because they didn't bring him in that they're not going to draft him.
Watching him.
Right.
Right, right,
Right.
right.
I
Right.
get it.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Like
I
just
get it.
because Jalen Duran didn't work out and Mark Williams did, that doesn't mean they're higher on Mark Williams to me.
Right, right, right.
That's all.
right. I think there's a smokescreen as far as the centers are concerned. There's been no media coverage of centers.
Nope.
They brought in Mark Williams. He was the one that leaked it. Nobody else in the media did or spoke about it, I should say. Um, I would say that could mean that they're leaning that way, but we got other news that we'll talk about in a little bit, regarding Mitch. So the chat, I'm interested. Who would you pick at 11 at this point? 2 days before the draft, we've talked about so many prospects. You pretty much know our team and what we need. Who are you picking at 11?
Realistic picks too.
Realistic, right? Realistic
Realistic
picks.
picks. Somebody that will
Uh,
actually be there.
right. Um, but staying on the draft, there's been a lot of talk about the Knicks. Not just talk about the Knicks moving up, but there was a report, I don't know how true it is, that the Knicks spoke to Sacramento about the number 4 pick and offered multiple first round picks. They didn't say anything about other players that I saw, but I know Stafford said you saw Obi's name in there and IQ as well,
And Grimes.
and Grimes. One of
Yeah.
the others. I'm sure it's not
Right.
all three plus multiple first
Right.
round picks.
I heard the Dallas pick was a first round pick too.
Was a first round
Oh,
pick. The
yeah,
11th
Dallas
pick
pick.
this year. I saw Grimes and somebody else. But this is the question. Are you willing? One, are you sold enough on Ivy that you're willing to give up a lot for someone who hasn't played an NBA game? Are you sold enough on what he can be?
Yes.
And
Yes. No question.
I was about to say,
Yes.
when you about to get Stone
Yes.
Cold Steve Austin, I was going to give you a hell
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Because listen, Queen,
Mhm.
we need a franchise player to change the direction of this team.
I agree with
And
you.
if he comes, he will be electrifying the garden.
Right.
But I'm playing
And we
devil's
may
advocate. I'm for
uh-huh,
the
uh-huh,
I'm for the trade. I'm for the
uh-huh.
trade, but I'm
hmm
playing devil's advocate here. Does electrifying mean he's going to be a star? The fact that he can run and he can jump and he's very athletic and nobody's going to keep him from the basket, does that mean that he's going to be a star in this league, which takes a little bit more than just athleticism and being able to get to the
I, I
basket?
believe he's gonna be a star. His mom was a basketball star. His mom won championships. He has that pedigree from since young. You understand? I listened to a couple of interviews, and it's funny. He was like, I forgot to say this. I want to be one of the best, greatest players ever. So that's to tell you the mentality that this kid has.
Yep.
He wants to be a star. He wants to change around the franchise, and he wants to be a Knick. So I believe once he comes and he is a Knick, I'm not guarantee it, but he will be a star in this league.
Okay.
And it wouldn't be this year, it might be next year, but come 3-4 years now down the road, him, RJ, and whoever else is on this team, we gonna make some noise.
So you're okay with giving up a pretty hefty package for him?
Yeah, they could keep the Dallas pick because I don't really care. Dallas gonna make the playoffs next year anyway, so it's gonna be a late first round pick. Um, Another first round pick, sure, you can have it. We got tons, and and I'm sorry to all the Obi fans, the grind fans, the IQ fans. If one of them gotta go, they gotta go. I'm
Two of
not
them gotta
attaching
go.
my.
I
I'm
think
not
it's going to be
attaching.
two.
I'm not attaching my name to any of these players. I've been said that. Even Cam, they said was in a trade offer also too. So put him in there too. He could be traded also too. So all these fans that are attached to these players, y'all wanted a franchise player. We may get one. And I've been saying for the longest while, Mr. Wesley and Mr. Leon Rose, y'all got to do something. And y'all show me that y'all doing something. Y'all pushing the chips to the table and taking a chance. And that's what I like. So we need this franchise player to come in and make a change. And let's see who we could go from here. But we got to groom him to be the star that we can.
Oh, well,
I've seen Ivy enough. he will be an absolute star in a Knicks uniform.
Wow.
And the way that we already value our players,
Mhm.
so draft night, he's going to be a star. Like I'm talking about like top 10 jersey sales and stuff like that. People are going to be
already.
excited if he gets drafted here. Like he changes the complexion of the entire team on both sides of the ball too. Because I think he could wreak havoc on defense too, especially with Tibbs. All that Alec Burks, what Sim said, it was the ball pressure, number one in ball pressure.
Yeah, something like
Yeah,
something like that.
something like that. Yeah, like Ivy can do that and more than Alec Burks can. Like especially if he's not going to have that much of a load on offense. You know, it's his rookie year or whatever. So we'll see. But yeah, I think he'll be an absolute star. I would trade a lot for him if the fourth spot was available. I would do anything in my power to get it.
Wow. I agree with the sentiment. I just haven't seen Ivy enough other than breakdown tapes and and things of that sort. If this was a draft where, there was like a can't miss number one, like when Zion came out and LeBron came out and I'm sure there's a few others that
So
escape me right now.
before you even get into it, right? What about did you have to see enough of John Morant if he was available at 3?
I saw more of John Morant than I've seen of Ivy though at during that time leading up to the draft.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Okay.
I yeah, because I saw him in the NCAA tournament as well. Um, so
Okay.
this is what I will say. If the Knicks believe Ivy is that guy, if Jarrell is right and Stafford is right, that he has star potential and can eventually grow into being a star, not just in terms of cheers and jersey sales and stuff, but a star on the court,
Right.
then you do what you got to do to get him.
And plus, I think he's the type of player that will put in the work. Like he's not.
Yes.
Oh
He's
yeah,
already a
yeah,
soft-spoken and humble
yeah,
kid, even though he
yeah.
does have the pedigree, like Stafford said. But
Right,
I think he's the type of person that he's not going to be out all the time. He's going to be in the gym all the
right,
time working on his game.
right.
Yeah, I believe so too. And his mom trained him from since he was young, so he has that how I should say that inner drive to be on the
Word.
court,
Yeah,
to be good, to be great.
yeah.
E-
So
I
Every
definitely
kid,
picked that up.
I was
Hmm.
going to just say, every kid whose parent, whether it's the mom or the dad, is the head coach of like a university or something like that, then they obviously know how to watch film. They obviously probably had a hard work ethic because that's probably how he was raised.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would not throw the house at Sacramento, but I would pretty much give up everything. Not everything, but I'll give up any player on the team other than maybe RJ. And those picks down the line, I'll give a lot of those up.
Two firsts, Obi, IQ, Cam, not all three of them, but
Mhm.
two firsts and two of our young players between Obi, IQ, Cam, Grimes.
They
so
will
so
probably
Um,
want IQ and Cam, to be honest, to me, because Cam
I
is at
will.
least Cam is on an expiring contract coming up after this year. So I
Mhm.
think Cam should be a hot commodity when it comes to trade time.
I was thinking they probably have enough point guards over there, or do they need another shooting guard and don't have um, IQ play the point? He just play a shooting guard, come off the bench. I'm
probably
trying to
play
figure out
both.
what does Sacramento need.
They want win now players, is what they said. But I also read that if they get young players, they want like young players that pretty much have separated themselves and you kind of get a sense of who they're going to be. They don't
Right.
want like young players that are not really ready to contribute.
Well, that might be IQ and, and Obi or even Grimes, one of them.
They all can go.
Or Cam, I mean, yeah.
I would shoot all of them out of a cannon in order to get J Knight.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That
It's,
that
it,
two
it's
firsts, Obi and IQ potentially.
Yeah.
for somebody who hasn't
And
played
the
an
11th pick.
NBA minute,
And the
and the
11th pick.
11th pick for somebody who hasn't played an NBA minute. This
Yes.
is this is where front offices lose their jobs. You better hit
Mm-hmm.
on this.
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yep.
um,
I would definitely
Well,
risk my job for that.
look at Atlanta and Dallas.
yeah,
They end up swapping picks. Atlanta end up getting Lil Meek Meek, and
Mm-hmm.
Dallas got Luca. They both took chances.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean, look, you playing poker.
Right.
Push your chips up to the table. Let's go get them.
yeah,
Right.
Let's go get them.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the sense I'm getting though, I don't think that's a smokescreen. I think the Knicks are really looking to improve this team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, one way or the other, if they can. I saw another report. Now, if we want to anything else about the draft as we move into
Hmm. I
Next
think we.
topic.
I'm about to say. I think we pretty much covered it. If not, I think we can easily go back.
we could easily go back.
Yeah, we
Harlem
can easily
Girl,
go back.
what's too much for the Knicks to give up? We suck. And this is something that
Right.
as much as we get on Josh, shout out to Josh, Uncle Fulio, on him wanting to bring in a star,
Westbrook.
Westbrook or whatever. One of the things I can agree with, I don't agree on the type of stars, but one of the things I do agree on is the propensity for fans to want to hold on to these guys instead
Mm-hmm.
of swing for the fences for guys who are young and productive. We're not talking about over the hill injury type guys, but guys who are in their prime, they're young. Um, that's too much. That's too much. We won 37 games. And the year when we went to the playoffs, it was just 41 one
Right.
games. It's not like it
Exactly.
was a 50 win. Well, it was a shortened season. So probably in a regular season, it might have been 45 games or something of the sort. The thing about it is what I hear a lot is let's build slow.
Mm.
Let's do what Boston did. Let's do what Memphis is doing. Let's do what Cleveland is doing. But what I will say about those franchises is they hit on at least one of their draft picks.
Yep.
This
Yep.
idea that just collecting draft picks, building slow, if you're collecting draft picks and one of them is not a star, your franchise is just not going to move.
Right.
It's not going to
Exactly.
move. Memphis is moving because Morant is approaching stardom. Tatum, though he struggled in
I
game
was just about
6,
to say you gotta put Boston in there.
yep, he's approaching stardom. You were talking about Cleveland.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say Garland is approaching stardom, but he's playing very well. And Mobley, from what I've seen,
He's
he's
going to
going to
be a
be a
star.
star.
Yes. There's no.
You know,
For
That's
sure.
undeniable.
he's
For
going to be a
sure.
star. So
That's
it's
undeniable.
this idea like just keep drafting players and like I don't know, maybe in year 5 they just miraculously become a star. No. You can pick
Hmm.
and pick and pick like we have been doing since 2013 in the top 10 with nothing to show for it.
Right.
With
We would.
absolutely nothing to show for it. You have to hit when you're building through the draft. And let's not forget Golden State. They hit on Curry.
Yep. Kaminga.
Right.
You
They
know?
almost. They actually almost gave up on Steph too.
Right. Right.
Yeah, when
So
he had there was a lot of ankle
Yep.
injuries in the early beginning. You're right.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to David G. Set your team back for years if you miss. But you know what? You set yourself back for years if you don't hit.
Right.
For real.
Think about it. We've been in the top 10 in the lottery since 2013, except for 2 years ago when we went to the playoffs.
Ridiculous.
We haven't hit.
Right. We're not picking the right
Since
players.
2013. We
Right.
haven't hit. So we have nothing to show for it other than Randall having an out of his mind season and Tibbs coming in and changing our identity, at least for that season,
Yeah,
to
the
a
culture.
defensive. Other than that, we have nothing to show for us suffering through all of these drafts since 20. So when people say let's build slow, I'm like, what have we been doing?
Right.
We can't get no slower than this.
It's the
For
same
real.
thing as like trust the process, like we the Sixers. It's the same thing.
Right.
Like you can't just if you're not hitting on the people that you're drafting, then you have to do something else. Obviously, we're not good at drafting.
Right.
That's why we bring in Walt
C Mac is
Perrin.
trolling. Stafford Don said we already hit a point guard. His name is Julius Randle.
Whatever, C Mackie.
That's funny, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
always a star, man. Like if you have a star, I guess it depends on the star, with the Kyrie Irving news. But I'm not gonna just. I don't want to just give the house on every star. But yeah, like for the most part, if a star is attainable, then you go get them.
Yeah. And even if you get a star in the draft, you still surround them with another star if you can. You
Yep.
know, I look at Boston when they had Tatum and Brown. They still went after Kyrie. They
Mm-hmm.
still went after
Mhm.
Kemba Walker in his prime.
Yep.
They weren't just like, oh, we got two. Let's just wait, sprinkle them with a little water, let them marinate and just wait to no. They were trying to
But
put
Queen,
players around them so that they can win quicker. Yes.
Yep.
I believe you heard your partner last night. I know you heard him good last night. Even though Kyrie came over to Boston, he never did nothing for the team.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, superstar. I love his skill set, all of that. But is he? Are we? But if we do what's are to get Kyrie, is he taking us on, putting us on his back and taking us to the next level?
No.
Is he going to mentor a young Jaden Ivey, a RJ? You know what I'm saying? A Julius Randle. Is he going to mentor those guys?
No. I think if you bring Kyrie, it changes everything. It changes your direction. It changes your roster construction.
Yep.
Um, and you can't because the window is not a long window, right? He's 30, even though stars now are playing, pretty good into they 34, 35, 36, years old. They're still playing pretty good. You would think you have what, a 4-year window to get something
With
done?
Kyrie?
With Kyrie, he's what 30? Yeah, about
30.
that.
4-year
Yeah,
window.
about
Okay.
that.
So you would have to do what Brooklyn did. You would have to do what the Lakers did.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just bringing Kyrie in here by himself, that's not going to move the needle
Oh no,
at
No, that's not
all.
gonna work.
nah, not at all.
You're going to have to bring in LeBron and then the next year bring in AD. Or like Brooklyn did, they brought in KD and Kyrie in the same summer, then
So,
traded for Harden. You
Right.
know what I mean?
You
You're
have
going
to
to
do
have to
so
something
do
like that.
Queen,
Yeah.
something like that.
so
Yep.
Queen, you wouldn't think this is a formidable team. Mitch at the 5, Julius at the 4, the who's at the 3,
Cam, Grimes, RJ.
RJ at the 3, Ivy at the 2, and Kyrie at the 1.
We ain't gonna be able to get
Would
both.
you say that's a play-in team, or would you say a play-off team?
I think it can go either way because I think with Kyrie, given even though he's very talented, he's not very reliable in my opinion in terms of his availability,
That's true.
and in terms of just a dog that's just gonna get after it, every single game. I think if you bring in Kyrie, you have to bring in somebody else that Kyrie can't be your best player.
Right.
Because I
Exactly.
don't think he's that leader type player. So if
I
you
get what
bring
you're
in
saying.
Kyrie, bring in
Would Derrick
trying to think.
Rose be a good mentor to him?
Nah.
I don't even think it's a mentor. You need somebody that he's gonna respect.
Yeah, you need somebody
So
better
that's
than
what
him.
I'm saying. So you don't think he respect D Rose?
Nah, because
But
he's not better than him.
right, right.
You
And
need
he
somebody
can't
that
and
can
he's
play
not
better
playing.
than
He's
him.
playing part-time. Like
Right.
he was with LeBron. I'm not gonna say he was in check, but he wasn't, well, I don't know. He played with KD and he did his own thing.
You can say
Anyway,
that Bron checked him. He did at that point. You got to think about how
Hmm.
young Kyrie was at the time.
at the
This was
point,
years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when Kyrie
yeah,
was like 25, is not 30-year-old Kyrie.
right.
He's changed.
And bringing him in with a rookie, I don't.
No.
I wouldn't want to bring a rookie in with
With
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
When it comes to Kyrie, right? How come nobody has said anything like with all the shows and all the rumors on Twitter I've seen? Nobody said anything about Tibbs being our head coach. I don't understand how that
I read
being a
today
factor
that
means
Tibbs is a
nothing.
fan. I read today. I think it was Bleacher Report that Tibbs is a fan
Really.
Of Kyrie.
Kyrie.
The same
But
player
let me
that
tell you,
said that we don't need a coach, that he wanted to coach the team himself.
but you know
So
why he's
Tibbs
a
got
fan.
that.
Let me tell you why he's a fan. Because Tibbs understands that to win in this league, you need a star.
Right.
Yes.
And in his mind, he felt like if you bring him in here, he's workable. But Tibbs had a hard time holding Randall accountable.
Yeah, well,
He's
like
gonna
what
have
is he
a
gonna
really
do?
tough time trying to hold Kyrie
Right.
accountable when he decides that he
Mm-mm.
needs a day off just because, you
Tibbs
know.
and Kyrie being in
Ah,
the same
boy.
locker room, I don't like it at all. Nope.
Oh boy. That's
Mm.
rough right there.
And
I'm just
Randall still
thinking
gonna be
like
here?
And
yo, he's saying,
No.
man, it's Ramadan. I can't play. You understand what I'm saying? Oh Lord have mercy.
We was
right,
joking. We was joking before
I-
about Randall having a sports therapist or whatever. You know how many therapists we gonna need if Kyrie was on this team with him? Tibbs gonna need
yeah,
3 himself with both of them.
No, that little Oklahoma hair that he has on his head is gonna go.
right,
Yeah, that little
yeah.
piece that's gone.
Yeah,
I think you
that's
would
gone.
need a guard that where Kyrie could play off the ball.
Brooklyn did that with Harden. That was a big deal.
All right,
Harden was
so
really running point, not Kyrie.
Yeah.
so here comes my draft pick now, AJ
Okay.
Griffin. Right, he will be excellent if Kyrie is just doing this thing. Da, da, da. Wow, 3 sharpshooter. Because Grimes might be gone, IQ might be gone. We need a shooter, and he will be perfect for that team right here. In my opinion,
Listen,
Well, if
it-
Kyrie
just
is on the
because of that
team,
dynamic.
if Kyrie on that team, we might not have 11th pick, so we might not even have no draft pick.
Yeah, you
That
know
is
what?
true.
You're right. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. The Knicks have to have a 2-3 step plan. It can't
Yep.
just be bringing in Kyrie. It has to be we're gonna bring in Kyrie, and we're gonna make this move and this move, and we're gonna
Yep.
transform the team in like one season or one off season.
Yep. They would have to get players. Obviously, they would have to get players to talk to each other, and
I saw a thing.
everybody will have to agree to come to the Knicks.
Well, I saw a thing where LeBron is a free agent next season.
No,
Oh my God!
we're not doing that.
Look,
We can't do
you're
that.
talking
We can't
about
do
bringing
that.
in players, right?
We're not
We're talking
doing
about
that.
Nah,
bringing
nah.
in players,
Here we
right?
go.
And
Now
you
this,
have a chance, and you may have a chance to get Kyrie and LeBron in New York. Plus,
Hasn't it
we
been like
might
exactly?
be able to probably get Bronny if we do draft him. You never know. I'm just saying. I know it's not a reality, but I'm just saying.
but see, this is there's a cutoff. There's a line. Like a lot of Knicks fans will say, "Same old Knicks." And to me, I feel like it's not the same on Knicks if you're getting a talented player in their prime who still has game left, and you're trading off a few maybes and our young guys, which you don't know who they're going to be, for somebody who's already established himself. I don't think that's same old Knicks. However, when you start trading off for somebody 36, I think that's
Yeah,
same
man.
old Knicks.
No, it's not a trade. He's going to be a free agent.
All
Last
right.
time we had this discussion, it was
He's
exactly
going to
10
be a
years
free
ago.
agent, Queen.
Wasn't he
He's
a free
gonna be a
agent in
free agent.
13?
Look,
So he gonna be a free agent again
I'm
in
just put,
23 coming in?
I'm just the messenger
Mhm.
Yeah,
that's
you're right.
bringing the message, and that's
You're
what
right.
I saw. You know what I'm saying? If we get Kyrie, it could lead us to LeBron next season. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
But LeBron is
I'm,
going to be at some point. I don't think LeBron is going to even make it through the window of 4 years.
I don't think it may be.
Knowing him,
I don't think it may be. I don't think it even may be 4 years though. I think he
no,
may
no,
do a two. I think he may do a 2 year deal. I don't even think it
I
might be
think
four.
knowing Bron, I wouldn't pass him still being here 4 years from now.
Mm.
I wouldn't be shocked. Let's just say that. You know how
And
it's basketball, so yeah, being 40 years old, still being in the NBA, it's happened before. So to me, the way that he treats his body, if it's happened before, Bron is going to do it again. He's
Well,
going
but
to beat the points
I
record. He's going to play until he beats that, I think.
I have seen some workout videos of Braun the other day in New York with Kevin Love. Man. When I tell you that boy is
Yeah,
hitting
he
on
still looks,
everything.
he's 26.
He that boy is hitting on everything. And he's what 36, 37 years old,
Yep.
still splashing. He might have
Right.
that explosiveness, but his shot still there, still there. So I mean, it's just a thought. Just a thought. Just a thought. Just a thought.
And
I'm not
Bron not
predicting
coming
it.
here.
I'm not
yeah,
predicting it. I just a thought.
yeah, I think that would be same old Knicks right there to get Kyrie and then sign LeBron and free. Like
Mm,
you taking chances with both of them, and with LeBron, that the clock will strike 12 at some point.
right.
You
And it
know,
will,
at some point.
with everything that I said, he will turn into a pumpkin on our watch, though.
Right, right.
Right.
They like overnight. LeBron
Overnight.
just
Went for the Knicks and turned into
Yeah.
a pumpkin overnight.
yeah,
I can see that
Oh my
already. I
god.
will get killed.
yeah.
Oh
Now,
boy.
does the compensation? So I'm not for the Kyrie trade.
No.
Um, Jarrell, you're not. Stafford, you are.
Nope.
Um. Hmm.
See, if it taking
No.
that long,
If
then no.
no.
If it's taking that long, then nah. Nah, you ain't doing it.
Nah. Because we already putting all our chips in for Ivy, man. So, uh, nah. I'm
Now,
good.
what if he opts out and he's an unrestricted free agent, and you don't have to give up assets, but you have to find a way to clear cap space to sign him?
See, I guess maybe because it's
Boy.
just Kyrie, like his willingness. Like if he came out and said that he wanted to come to the Knicks, yeah, but he hasn't said that, and I think this is all just talk and
Yeah,
trying to
that's
get
a good
leverage
point.
and stuff. Like
That's a good point. That's a
I
good
don't
point.
think this is real at all.
And he had an opportunity to come to New York.
And he didn't.
Couple
He went to
times.
Brooklyn.
Couple times.
So that's what I'm saying. So I don't see how this is real at all. And for like Knicks fans to want him, I understand that he's talented. He's one of the most talented basketball players I've ever seen. Stuff is attached to that talent that I do not want on this team though. And that's it's just as simple as that. Like he's already spurned his team more than once, I think, when it came to free agency. So the fact that he's coming out of a situation in Brooklyn just to come across the bridge to the Knicks, I don't see it.
I
I
don't
don't
see
know
it
why
either.
anybody would want him here.
Right. I think the coolest was being funny, but there's some truth to this. As
Yeah,
soon as Kyrie signs his contract, he'll go missing for 20 days
yeah,
protesting saving whales in Alaska.
right.
But uh, the, he he has, and he said he has interests outside of basketball. There are things more important than basketball, and I'm not gonna hate him. I'm not gonna hate him for that. He's a community act. Well, I don't know if he's a community activist, but he pays attention to what happens in the world. And if he has an opportunity to put his support towards something he believes in, he'll do it, even if that means missing games.
See,
So I'm
I
not
ain't with
passing
that.
judgment on it, but all I'm saying is for the Knicks front office, who I know watches the show,
Hmm.
Right.
is that who you want to tie yourself to? Somebody that can come in, and when you think about what happens in our world, Black Lives Matter movement, that the whole thing with gun violence, something could pop off at any time,
Yeah,
and Kyrie could be like, you know what? I'm gonna miss the next 20 games. I just feel like I gotta be out there
20.
giving my support because there's things more important than basketball.
20
I'm not
games is crazy.
right. I'm not
Mm.
arguing with him. I'm just saying, that's a possibility. Do you want to tie yourself to that
See,
possibility?
that's the thing. We're a little different because I'm gonna argue with him because even though, don't get me wrong, you could do whatever you want to do in your private life.
Hmm.
Once it's game time, it's supposed to be game time. We all have a job to do. I have to go to my job every morning just like everybody else does.
Right,
So if I don't show up, I can't give them the excuse of, I don't know, there was an oil spill in the Mediterranean and I got to save the seals. That's not,
right,
my boss is not going to care about that. Like, I still have to produce.
right,
And that's pretty much the name of the game, man. These are professional athletes. Like, yeah, you can have your personal, um, I don't know, like all your personal stuff outside of basketball is cool.
right,
Basketball doesn't have to be your number one priority in life,
right,
but it
Right.
has to be important enough for you to show up at your job, though.
right,
Like, it don't have to be number one. It's the
right,
family, um, some finances, depending on like the type of person you are. Basketball might not be your number one priority,
right,
but it has to be a priority though,
right,
and it has to be an important one. If it's not, then I don't want you on the team. It's just simple as that. Like, I don't want to try to sound harsh and try to make it
No,
right.
you're
seem
not
like you
sounding
shut up and
harsh at
dribble.
all.
Yeah, yeah,
But
No,
it's
yeah,
not
no.
trying to shut up and dribble. You can talk all you want to, but once you missing games, you're not shutting up or talking. You're just doing something else other than playing basketball.
right. Shout out to the coolest 718. You can have your platform to shed light on social issues, but remember, you signed a contract. You still have to do your
Oh,
job.
yep. Still gotta do your job.
Hmm.
Yeah, you still have to do your job. Um, so yeah, but Kyrie, he's the type of person that whatever the consequences are, that's what they are.
Yep.
If he feels strongly about it, so I think that that's something that the Knicks have to think about. But to your point, Jarrell, I think he's using the Knicks for leverage. He had an opportunity to come to the Knicks 2 years ago and decided to go to Brooklyn, and
Right.
I cannot see him. Even if he becomes a free agent, even if things sour with the Nets and they decide that they're moving on, I just can't see him signing in New York.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't
I,
see it.
I don't see it either. So the Knicks are apparently looking to move contracts to free up space. They're looking to move Noel's contract, Burke's contract,
Yes.
and Kimba. Kimba might be harder because Kimba has well, no, they're all going into the final year of
I
of
think so. Yeah.
of their contract, and so the rumor is that they're clearing up space so that they have the money to offer Brunson if he wants to leave, because Dallas apparently has made it their business that they are going to go after him, and whatever the salary cap be damned, whatever it is they're going to sign him, it would be up to him to say no, I want to leave. And so the Knicks are clearing up this space. um but my question is, do you want them to clear that space up for Brunson? Do you want them to clear that space up for Kyrie, where you can sign him without having to give up pieces?
Mm. I don't want them. I don't want either. But like we said before, it's about talent acquisition. So, um, I would rather sign Brunson at this point simply because he's younger. He's obviously not a better player, but he will be cheaper and he's younger. He fits the timeline more. He doesn't come with, I don't want to call it baggage, but some of the things that Kyrie come with that we already mentioned. So if I had a choice, it would be Brunson. But I don't know. It all depends on how much that contract is. Like, if we trying to give Brunson damn near 30 million a year, yeah, I don't want them clearing space up for that. Like, I don't think he's worth that. That's just me personally.
Yeah. I think I've cooled on Brunson too. I like him. If the Knicks trade for him, I'm okay. If they don't,
Mhm.
I'm okay. But you got to get some point guard in here.
Right. Something has to change. That
Yeah,
the roster
yeah,
cannot be the same as it was.
right. Exactly. You have
Can't.
to because I'm saying he wants Van Vliet money from what I'm understanding. Van Vliet signed 4 years, $85 million.
Hmm. That's not that much.
Yeah,
If I mean, I was talking about close to 30. So if we're paying him just like 21, 21.5, 22.
right.
It's not that bad
Nah,
comparing.
30. You heard 30 million at one
I,
point.
like if he's going to be up like 27, 28, yeah. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like if you're going to be freeing up cap space, like you wouldn't be talking about all these players if they just had to give up $20 million. Like it's only two people. So
Wow.
if they're going to clear up like three or four people, yeah, they're going to give him. They're going to make him a very happy man.
Nah.
It
Well,
has
I'm
to.
I'm 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 hoping that they're freeing it up just so that they can have that flexibility to go after whoever.
Hmm.
Um, you know, Jack Levine is out there. Zach Levine is out there. He's
He's
gonna take.
unrestricted.
But yes, Zach
Oh,
Levine is. I believe Zach Levine is unrestricted. Yeah.
all right.
So
Okay.
you know, I mean, are you? I would take Zach Levine over Kyrie. Um, though you're gonna have to give
Yeah.
up. You're gonna have to give up some pieces. So the question is, the Knicks are clearing flexibility, clearing out contracts for flexibility, whether that's Brunson, whether that's Kyrie, whether they're gonna make a run at Zach Levine. I think that's a shot in the
Mm,
dark. I haven't heard the Knicks connected with Zach Levine at all.
neither did I. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
first.
Um, at all. But they're trying to do something if they're freeing up money and they're trying to do something this off season. And
Well,
I,
Burks could go. Noel could definitely go. That is what 20 million right there.
and Kimba is
Um,
9. That's 29
can't
million
wait,
right
man.
there.
He's 29. Who else again could go? Probably all Fournier. That's 18 or 19. One of them.
Yeah, he's not
So
expiring though.
How was Zach Levine's relationship with Tibbs? Do you know?
yeah, because they play with
I
each
don't
other
really
in
remember.
Minnesota, right?
Right, and he traded him for Butler.
Ooh.
But
So
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
Yeah, he did.
yeah, he traded him. He traded
Yeah.
him
I don't know.
for Butler because remember at that time Zach Levine was really young. He hadn't really separated himself. They were trying to make the playoffs, so he wanted a more experienced.
Right.
Hmm.
Um,
Good
somebody
point.
said we definitely talking to Levine's people. Let me tell you something. All of our fans that's loving our young people. You have an opportunity to get Levine.
They all can go. All of them.
Now, if you clear cap space, maybe you clear enough cap space that you can sign him outright.
Oh, if so, great. But some of them still gonna have to go.
Yeah. Just to get other pieces to come in because he's gonna command 30 something minutes at that spot.
As he
RJ
should.
is gonna command right 30 something minutes at his spot. Whoever's backing him up is gonna be in the Julius Randle Obi position. How
Hmm.
many minutes is left that you're gonna really be able to get behind him?
Right.
My only thing about Zach Levine is that he played a two, and me personally, I want RJ to play the two.
You don't think Levine could play the three? How isn't he like 6'6", 6'7", or is he?
I think like 6'5", 6'6". He played a two.
Oh, he's 6'5", 6'6".
I think DeRozan was playing the small forward there.
Yeah, he was. He was playing the three.
Not saying that he can't, but from like
Right,
a long term basis, like all season, then I
right,
think both of them are two guards to me. Him
right.
and RJ. We'll still need a
Yeah, you're
three,
right. He's 6'5".
right? So he'll he's obviously a good player. He'll be our best player by far.
Well, let me play devil's advocate. Let me play devil's advocate. would you do a sign and trade for RJ and Levine, and then that three spot is now open that you're gonna have to fill? Because think about it, the money you're gonna pay Levine is the money that you're gonna pay RJ next year, if not
Hmm.
all of it, a pretty good portion of it.
That's true.
I
You know,
keeping RJ. I'm keeping RJ. I can't do that to you. I can't do. I can't do it.
I
I
can't do
can't
that.
do it. I can't do it. Mm-mm.
Much as
I
I
like
would.
Zach. I like Zach, but nah, but I,
but Stafford, you know,
not gonna be rough. Not
Oh,
even
Zach.
though I just said attached to players, but
I,
this one here, this one,
that's the only player that's
yeah,
right?
yeah, man.
Listen. I think Levine is better than RJ.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I,
Now,
I think he's I
of
think he's
course,
he's
of
better than.
course. But the only thing I'm saying is that
Mhm.
I don't think we've seen the all of RJ yet, all the chapters of RJ yet. I think we have seen a lot of Zach Levine. We know what he is. We know what he could do. Prolific dunker, prolific shooter, streaky shooter. His defense could be questionable, So, but at the
Well, but
same
RJ's
time,
defense is, I mean, his willingness is there, but in terms of results, it's not very consistent
yeah.
either.
But I feel like Zach been in the league a little more longer, and RJ is just coming to what, year three, or are we going into four?
mm,
So I mean,
He shot
I
46%.
for the Zach from what, the three,
No, two.
yeah, from the two,
two.
like all around.
I mean,
I'm just playing devil's.
I couldn't do it, Queen. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. That one there got me. 'Cause I'm a little attached to RJ.
I think in order for us to get Zach though,
He shot 38.9% from three.
mm, I'll take it. But yeah,
Five rebounds, 4.5 assists.
mm, and he's 27, so he's in his prime. Only thing with that, I think if we're going to get Zach, we have to change this roster completely. Then, to me, like he's not going to come here. They have to have a plan. The
Yeah.
next team he
No
goes to,
matter
he's
who they
going to
bring
want to
in.
win.
Yeah, whoever the Knicks bring in, they got to have a plan.
You're right.
One
If you,
player is just not.
right.
I just don't think it's going to do it.
Just giving up like Noel. Say if you get rid of this contract, you give up Burks, give up Kemba or whoever. Just putting Zach on this team, we still don't win anything. But so he has to be paired up with somebody, and
And
it's
that's the
not
same with
Julius Randle.
Kyrie.
Right. The same thing. Like them two and Julius Randle can't be the move. It has to be somebody else.
Right. Let's go back to Paris Duggar has arrived. Appreciate you,
Hmm.
Paris Duggar. Um, he always have something provocative and something to get us to talk about. So we're gonna go back to Ivy.
Okay.
Man, if this fan base don't get off this trade our youth call for a artificial jaw in Ivy, dude lost to St. Francis. My goodness.
Yeah, but that's in college. I mean, we do you want to talk about all the teams that the players that we drafted lost to in college? I don't know if you
Come on,
noticed, none of them
Paris,
won a
man. Come
championship.
on,
Like so,
man. Come on, man.
all the players that we drafted recently, none of them won a chip. So losing St. Francis don't mean nothing to me.
Neither do I. I don't take that into consideration. Come
Nah,
again.
nah, not that one.
Come again.
Ivy, I say you could nitpick his game and say he's, um, streaky shooter, work on his playmaking stuff like that. Maybe lapses on defense some, but just to say that he lost to a team in college, that doesn't make him a good or a bad player. That's a non-factor to
Exactly.
me.
Because I'm sure it had many players that lost in the NCAA tournament was top 10 picks. I'm definitely sure of that. And some of them probably came out to be superstars
Right.
or a star.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can't agree with you, Paris Duggar tonight. No,
Like even
But
as
but
a Tar Heel fan, we beat Duke twice. We had no business beating Duke at all. You gotta think that we talked about two Duke players tonight, and one of them wasn't even Paulo Banchero. He's gonna be
right,
picked in the top three.
right.
So they had three lottery picks on their team, plus three other ones that's going to be in this draft. So yeah, it's not about individual players when it comes to stuff like that. It's all about team and who you play and the atmosphere and stuff. College basketball is crazy.
yeah,
But
well said, well said.
but you don't think it's a risk? I guess we went over this. I guess this is just another rendition of the same question. You
Yeah,
don't think
it's
it's
a
a
risk.
risk to give up young players and draft capital for someone who hasn't played an NBA game? You guys feel that from what you've seen, he is as close to can't miss. And that doesn't mean he's going to become a superstar, but
Right.
by can't miss meaning that he's not going to be, as Freezy would say, a ham sandwich.
Oh no, he ain't gonna be no ham sandwich.
Nah, with not yeah, not with no extra
Not no,
cheese. Nah,
no, not no ham sandwich.
nah,
Not that one.
nah. Mm-mm.
He's better than that.
Even if you want to call him an imitation job, I'll still take that.
Right. Give me fake job.
I will still take that. So you can
Give,
call him how much you want.
give me fake job.
Give me that in the garden.
Fake
Give me
job
that
will
in the
be an
garden.
all-star in a Knicks jersey.
Right. Good point by Harlem Girl. This is something I say all the time. Fans need to stop judging players on what they are now. Instead, project what they can or will be going forward.
Hmm.
And that's the thing. You have to look at the deficiency or the weakness or the concern and say, am I betting on this guy improving this skill? And if he does, what type of player will he be? Because even when we look at Dyson Daniels, if Dyson Daniels doesn't develop a 3-point shot, he'll still be a connector. He'll still be able to guard multiple spots. He'll still be able to bring the ball up and initiate the offense. But if his ball handling gets better, if he's able to create his own shot and shoot the three, that changes everything. And
Hmm.
so we have to do that with a lot of these playing. Doran, if he doesn't improve, he'll be like a Mitch. He'll be a rim runner. He'll be able to, he'll be a
Right.
lob threat, a vertical threat. He'll be able to block shots. However, if he can operate in the post and he
Hmm.
can hit that face up with consistency, we talking about a whole other player. So
Right.
I think
Yes.
I appreciate you, Harlem Girl. I think that's another way to look at it. Who are you betting on that this guy is going to improve their weakness and become that guy? That's what you really have to say, because they all have weaknesses or concerns or areas of improvement.
That's why get they said this which is always the point, right? Where they said I thought getting time on the court, will help them and teach them. And I believe in time. Once he get that time, and plus he's a top 4 pick, he has to play. He has to play. Ain't no doubt about it. RJ was top 3 pick. He was playing. He's a top 4 pick. He is going to play. So
He's
with the
definitely
reps, yeah, with the reps going forward, I mean, it's going to take a little while for the chemistry to get there. But with the reps going forward, he is going to get better.
playing. Hmm.
Yeah.
He's going to get better.
But what what needs to improve in order for him to approach his ceiling? Like
I
you
mean,
could say, well, his floor is pretty good. However, if he does A, B, and C, he's going to be out the chart.
To me, it's all up here.
yeah, well, that too. And then after watching a lot of film, that's what I'm saying. Not only on the floor is getting him reps, but Gerald said it earlier. His mom was a player, his mom was a coach, so he knows how to watch film, right? So all of that is going to take place. and then everything would just come together. And that's what I believe. Because in order to be on the court, you gotta have uh, the knowledge of the game from watching film, from where to pick your spots and when to shoot, when to initiate, when to play make, when to take over.
Yep.
So so
But
once
that's
he
huge. That's what
yeah,
we're looking
well,
for
that's
from
what that would
IQ.
well, I mean, he start doing it at the end of the season, and we start see a
Mm-hmm.
different change
Mhm.
in IQ. Well, that's what's going to be happening with Ivy. It's just IQ didn't have. Was IQ parents basketball players also too?
His mom was. I know that.
His mom was, but I don't know if they really sat down and watched film or she was a coach or whatever may be the
Yeah, I'm
case.
not sure. That's
But
different
for
than his
his
mom.
mom to be win a championship at Notre Dame, was a coach in the WNBA, was an assistant coach with men, is
But
just
how does
all the
that?
ins.
But how does that rub
No,
off? But how does that make him a better? I mean, I get
no,
it
no.
that
What
he
I
spent a
no,
lot
what
of
I'm
time
saying,
in the gym, and I mean,
and
I get that part.
it's gonna be reps in the game. I'm talking about also too. That's make him going to get better because he's going to go through mistakes. If you understand what I'm saying, once you go through mistakes, you go to the film, you look at it, you correct your mistakes, you come back, you try to get better. And as I say, it's a gamble, right? So we got all our chips on him. So we are gambling that in the future he does not make these mistakes when the time comes. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I mean, I think if he's going to play the point, his playmaking, all of the things you talked about, his playmaking has to improve
Hmm.
because he's talented at getting to the basket, knowing when to go for his and when he should, facilitate the offense and create for others. That's not always easy um, for somebody who's a
A
scorer.
rookie.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah. Oh, right. But if he doesn't develop that, he could just be a undersized shooting guard at 6'4".
I was about to say the same thing with his floor. With
you
his
know?
floor, he could still be an all-star if he doesn't. If that swing trait doesn't swing, he's still an all-star.
Right. Right.
What's his name? Ja can't shoot. Do you see how Ja shoot like he's shooting like this? He
Yeah,
can't shout. But at the
and
Jock
same time, he
Jockey.
made he made
and
he
I can
made the All
honestly
Star
say
team last year.
that Ivy is a better jump shooter than Ja is.
He is a better jump shooter, but
You
Ivy
see,
Ja is an actual point guard.
Right.
There's no
That is true. Also,
he is an actual point guard with court vision
right.
and
He
and,
never
and
played nothing
playmaking
else.
skills. Right. So Ivy is more a shooting guard that we're hoping can become a point guard. Ja is a
well,
point guard who's
so
having
so
difficulty
so
shooting.
what's the sense in going to get Brunson then? So let's just groom the kid as our point guard. So why would we need to bring in another point guard then?
But because
Unless we're gonna have him as a mentor.
this is listen. We're not paying no money for mentors. You're gonna have you're gonna have to be
The
able
queen
to
has spoken. You said that
you're
like
gonna
you
have to be able
was.
to
You said that like you
contribute.
was in the office. Like we not doing that.
No, you're gonna have to be able to contribute.
Right. Right.
We playing Derrick Rose like 14, $15 million.
Right.
No. Oh, I'm sure that he's helped quickly along the way this season. I'm sure he did, but we can get that for 5 million, 4 million.
Right.
We need Rose to play if we're paying him $15 million. The
Honestly, to me, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
think that should be one of the contracts we should try to get rid of.
I agree.
He should
I
not be
agree.
making $14 million. That's nuts
Right,
for his role on the team.
right. But to Stafford's point, I like Brunson and Ivy
Yeah.
because it allows Ivy to come into the league, not have that, point guard responsibilities, find his footing as an off guard. Maybe you can give him some minutes at the point guard spot. But Brunson there allows him to, you know, do his thing without having to worry about getting Randall involved if he's still here, getting RJ involved. He doesn't have to do that. And you could just bring him along slowly. He can, play backup one or something, or something of the sort. Um, so yeah, I kind of like that. I mean, it's a little undersized at 6'1"
Boy,
and 6'4".
this draft is going to be very interesting.
Not just the draft, the trades that's gonna go
Mm-hmm.
down.
Just the trades.
That's it's going to
And
be
next week,
interesting.
the week after, is free agency.
Yep. They need to switch that. When are they ever going to switch that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Free agency should definitely be before
Before the
the
draft.
draft. It
Right,
doesn't make any sense.
right. So this is the question I have now with the whole Kyrie thing. The Knicks are also linked to Brogdon, but from what I understand, they were just doing their due diligence. That they didn't. I forgot who the
Why even waste your time to do diligence on Brogdon? Why? It's like,
that he wasn't their
come on,
first
man.
option, but they was just doing due
You call
diligence.
that a ham sandwich? That's more than a ham sandwich right there. You know what I mean?
Brogdon
That's
can
a ham.
play.
That
It's the
ham. That's not.
injuries.
That's a sub. That's a sub. We don't. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come
Oh,
on,
man.
man. Brogdon, bro. I'm
Well,
sorry, Queen. No, I
no,
can't.
no, it's
Just turns my
he could
stomach.
play,
No.
but the issue, as we talked about ad
The
nauseum, is the
injuries.
is the
Yeah,
injuries.
54 games in one
Yeah,
season, whatever.
right.
That's
In
one
10
thing
seasons.
that's the only thing, not the only thing, but that's one major thing we didn't talk about with Kyrie. We didn't even bring up how injury prone he is.
Prone
But
years.
Just because how talented he is. People don't care.
Right.
but that's what I was talking about when I was talking about his availability. Part of it was injury.
Mm.
I was
Okay.
just
Right.
using that as an umbrella term. Part of it
Okay.
is injury,
Right.
and the other part of it is, he'll just decide that something else is more important today. You know, but you're right. Specifically, the injuries. And I get
Right.
it. Some of the fan base is saying we've been bad for so long, we have to take a risk, and I get it. But I'd rather take my risk on Ivy not popping than on Kyrie. And I know
All
some
right.
people would think I'm out of my mind with that.
No, but
But
shoot, you heard you know your mind here, Uncle Freezy last night. You would definitely go get Kyrie. I was listening to him talking about Sohan at 11. Boy, I wanted to come through the phone. You know, you know.
Yeah, man. Nah, I'm not doing that either.
Ivy
I'd
and
rather
quickly.
have
The
Ivy
only thing
quickly
about
one.
that, the public enemy number one, is that both of them, in my opinion, have to learn, because both of them are scorers, shooters, and both of them are extremely confident. So learning when to go for theirs and when to set up the team, that's going to be, both of them still have to learn that. I would like to have one person there that kind of already knows that, but I don't have a problem with Ivy and quickly, other than quickly maybe in the quickly maybe
Trade.
in the, be in
Right.
the trade. But let me ask you this question: with the whole Kyrie talk, the Knicks clearing up cap space, whether that's to go after Brunson, whether that's just to stay flexible so that they have money if anything um, pops up that they like. It seems like the Knicks aren't staying the course. I mean, it's that's not their first choice, in the sense of keep this team the way it is, let the young guys pop, get rid of Randall, get rid of Fournier, and just let our young guys develop, which a lot of the fan base is behind.
Mhm.
That doesn't seem like where the Knicks are. What's your preference? Stay the course or try to improve? Or a
Hmm.
little bit of both. You could do both.
I was about to say a little bit of both, but I think nobody stands still. I think every team tries to improve every year. In terms of us, see, we're so young though. That's what like getting rid of players meaning we're getting rid of the young ones. So that kind of changes everything because we want them or waiting for them to pop. So since they haven't yet, getting rid of them is difficult, especially for most of the fans. So I don't know. Like, I would try to go out and win. I want to win games. I'm not attached to any of the players like that. Maybe I'm mostly attached to RJ because I really like him, but and I think going forward, he will be our best player if we don't bring anybody in. But I would want to win games. Like I'm not just playing games just to play them. Not anymore. Like we've been doing
Tired
that.
of losing, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we've been doing that. Like
Tired
Steph
of
said,
losing.
like we've been in the lottery for the past 10 years
Have nothing to show.
with nothing to show for it but one
But
playoff
RJ,
appearance.
right? And
Exactly.
and RJ,
Aren't
and maybe listen. As of late, we've drafted pretty well. So IQ could pop, Grimes could pop,
they?
Obi, Obi can pop. The potential is there. I think for me, I agree with you. I want the Knicks to try to improve, but I want them to be responsible in doing it if that makes sense. I
Right.
do not like, to me, a Kyrie LeBron James pairing is just like
Why did I say that?
like
Mm-mm-mm.
that's just not the improvement
Nope.
that I want. But sitting here with this same team year after year, waiting for Grimes to pop, waiting for Obi to pop, like I can't. Like I just feel like that's like watching water boil. Like I
Hmm.
don't have that type of patience. So I
Well,
do
some
want
people
the
can't even boil water, Queen. Trust
so I
me.
want the Knicks to improve in a way where if we do have to trade assets, whether that's draft picks or young players, it's for other players who are also young and in their prime, and you're going to
Right.
have a longer window. Um, that type of building,
Right.
and to keep, we have enough young players that will still have homegrown talent,
Right.
right? You're not going to trade everybody, so they'll still be homegrown talent. So, um,
That's
one
why
thing.
I wanted. I'm sorry, I didn't
Mhm.
mean to cut you off.
No, no, go ahead.
That's why not saying that I'm the biggest Brunson fan, but I would still rather have him than Kyrie because of that. Like
True.
he fits the timeline more. He's only 25 years old. So he's going into his prime. He won't be as expensive. Of course, he's not as good as Kyrie, but it's not just about the talent. It's about
It's
where your
fit.
roster is and all the other stuff that comes with it.
Yeah. Somebody said Brogdon is a gyro.
Extra white sauce, nasty. No, no, mm-mm. Don't want.
Yo.
Yeah,
Oh
not the yeah.
boy.
We have to stay away from injured players. I like Miles Turner. We got
Right.
to stay away from him.
Don't want him.
Brogdon, Kyrie is another injury-prone player.
Don't want him.
Yeah, I think that's it. But let's talk about Robinson. So there's been some reports, as per Mark Stein, reported by Hoops Hype, because when I tried to get to Mark Stein, that's a paid subscription where he wrote the article. But
Oh,
Hoops Hype did comment on it that the Knicks are preparing to offer Mitchell Robinson a multi-year contract.
That's
Are
what's
you
up.
happy or disappointed in that news?
I'm happy. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I am ecstatic. I am happy. The only reason why I say that, Jarrell, is because he's been in the system for the longest while. He knows what the expectations of New York is. And with the one injury season to me that I think he had, and he came back in strong, even though a little heavy, I still think he could do damage. You know what I mean? I know he needs to work on his free throws. You know what I mean? But I still think that he could put in the work and do some damage. And I think he has something to prove. And
Mm.
I'm right with him. I'm right with him. I think he really has something to prove, man. So I'm happy that he's coming back, if that's the case.
uh, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. I've seen enough. I've seen enough from Mitch. To be honest though, if we do re-sign him, I'm not upset. I think it depends on what the numbers look like, and even I don't see us paying something crazy to Mitch. That's not how the front office has been operating so far. So if he does come back, it would probably be at a good number, and I wouldn't be upset. But no, I think Mitch can be replaced. Like I think we could use that money elsewhere, and either draft his replacement, or if you don't want to draft Jalen Duran, is somebody in the second round that can not do exactly what Mitch does, but it could be somebody that's worth looking at to replace him, or get
But
somebody in free agency.
but Jarrell, we looking to build.
Hmm.
We looking to have um what was the word I'm looking for? Continuity.
Hmm. That's true.
Even though we might trade some players, yes, they may be gone, but we still looking to have players that, as I said before, know the system and know what it's about to be of being a Knick. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? So I guess if we,
But what is it
even though
about being a Nick?
Right.
We don't need.
And if that's the case,
just the expectations. You know, the fans, we want to win. You know what I'm saying? We
yeah,
want to win. That's our motto right there, hands down. We want to win, especially me. I ain't seen a
right.
championship. We was close 94, 95, whatever year that was with
Mhm.
with the Houston Rockets, right? So we want to win, and Mitch want to win. So that's what I said. He knows the aura of the city already. He knows what the expectations are, and as I feel he has something to prove. I think he's gonna improve on his free throws. I hope that's what he's been doing in the off season. You know what I mean? And he's gonna get his opportunity to shine.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah.
that remains to be seen. We'll definitely see. Like I don't dislike Mitch, and even though I do agree with you when it comes to certain players, you want the continuity and all that, but I think we just disagree on those players that we want to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like there's
Right.
other players that I don't want to get rid of because of continuity. Mitch just isn't one of them. Just because of the number being high and he's up for a contract. That's all. There's nothing personal against. Like I don't. I'm not mad at Mitch or dislike him. I just think for the stuff that he does.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Let's say since we do draft, we didn't sign him, but we have Nerlens starting, and
Hmm.
then we have probably Duran and Sims
Hmm.
sharing minutes on the second team. What, you with that?
Yeah.
If Noel is healthy,
Yeah. Of course, if Noel is
let's
healthy.
let's not forget that Noel was our starting center when we went to the playoffs.
Right. And
Right,
it wasn't
right.
even
So he
Mitch
could
then.
play. The issue with Noel is his health. That's the issue. That
Right.
he's
What
you
this
can't
is
really
the
you can't really
thing
count
from
on him.
from from the whole last season in the off season till the season start. You was still hurt, bro.
Say that again.
He talked about
From I'm talking about Noel
yeah, how he's
from the
still hurt.
off season,
Yeah,
from when the season start.
he would come
You
back
were
for
still
one
injured.
game and get hurt.
That's what I'm saying.
He'll
So
get
that's what I'm
dressed,
saying, Jarrell, man. I
run up
don't
and down.
want him on the team, bro. I don't want him on the team.
You forgot we still got Taj. Like,
Look,
But listen,
Taj need to go somewhere and sit down like Haslett. But what I'm saying is, man, we need the young legs out there, bro. The man is only 23.
he is. This is
yes.
the, listen. I'm okay if the Knicks go either way. I just feel like you let Mitch go, you sign Doran on a rookie contract. That's money you could put elsewhere.
Hmm.
You know, especially if the Knicks are going to go young. Now, if
Right.
the Knicks are bringing in veteran type players, it may take Doran another year or so. I get it. They want to fast track it. They bring Mitch back because he already knows the system. But in my opinion, in a few years, Doran could probably be better than Mitch. And the reason I'm saying that is Mitch has been in the league for 4 years,
Right.
averaging the same 8 and 8, 8 point whatever. And I've only seen a little bit of improvement from year to year. I haven't
Right.
seen huge jumps from Mitch. Now, you can argue that that's because he started out so raw, as a second round pick, straight out of high school, not a lot of, you know, um, coaching. you could say, okay, that's why he's inching along. But he might not get that much better than what he is. And the free throw shooting is a cause of concern as well. Usually by now it would have been up a little more. It's getting worse. He shot worse this year than he did the year before. So
I
at
don't
this
think he
point,
was trying. I don't think he was trying.
well, then that's
One
a
time when you
problem right there if you're not
one time when
trying.
one time when you see he just like he don't care.
But
But
you
that's
want
a
him on the
problem.
team,
That's
though,
a
Stat.
problem. That's a problem right there.
How you want him
All
on
of,
the team
listen,
and he doing that?
Because one of the reasons why he felt like he was not, being more involved in the team. All right, if
so
you
you're gonna
really
blow a
watch,
free throw. So you're
no,
gonna blow
so
a free throw because you're
listen,
not being involved.
that's what I'm saying. Everybody pick on Randall, but some of these young guys got issues too, right? He went on social media talking about he can't be running up on the court for cardio, right, for 48 minutes. He's the one that said that. He's the one that keep on making little cryptic tweets,
See,
right?
now you're
So,
making my
but
argument
hold on, Jarrell. If you watch some of his games where he did 18 and 13 and all of that,
Mhm.
he was shooting very well from the free throw. He was concentrating. I feel like when he's not involved and he's just running up and down the court like a madman, you know what I'm saying? It takes the win out of him. You know what I'm saying? I think Freezy brought this up last night. We are like the 28th or 30th team to be using our big men. We didn't even look for Mitch. We didn't even look for him. So I mean, as I
I
said
just think
before,
we
man,
can get. You don't think we can get what he gives us cheaper? That's all I'm saying. Because look,
nah,
I
man. No,
agree
look,
with you.
no, Queen. We've been blackballing this boy for 4 years. Get a
Well,
man a little money, man.
he gonna get
Give
his
him a
money
little
no
money.
matter. Listen, he
One
gonna get
one
his
point
money no matter.
1.7 million for the last 4 years.
Listen,
What kind of
listen.
chump change is that?
He was
He
a second round pick, and that's what he
Yeah,
got. That's what he
right,
deserved.
right. But listen. He's gonna get paid no matter what, whether it's from the Knicks, Detroit,
Yeah, that's true.
whoever. Mitch is gonna get paid. He's gonna be fine money wise. He's gonna
I
be
think
fine.
we could give him the more. I think we could give him the most. That's why
But I
he's
don't think
coming
we're
back.
giving him. I don't think we're giving him. Well, listen. The question is, do you believe Mitch? Those flashes we've seen, and I've been fooled by Mitch as well. I've seen them 13 points, 18 rebounds, 3 blocks, and I'm like, oh, whoa, hold up here now. Hold up now. I don't care about any off whether he can hit a shot. If he's gonna dominate the game like this,
Hmm. Then what
he
happened?
don't even have to make a shot. I'm good.
What
The
happened after that?
next day, like we picked him up off the
Disappear.
street. Like we
We
picked him
picked
up
him
off
up
the
Disappear.
off the
street.
street.
Disappear.
You know what I mean? So at some point, the flashes would show your potential of what you could be. Those flashes at some point have to become more consistent, where that's just who you are. You
Right.
a double double guy, 1 or 2 blocks a game. That's just who you are. That's not what I'm getting from Mitch. I'm seeing incremental improvement over the years. I don't know. I mean, I get it either way. If the Knicks keep him, I'm all right with it. If the Knicks move on, I'm all right with it. I'm okay either way.
I could tell Mitch is not that he's replaceable. I don't want to, just crap on him on show, but the love that I seen like Sims got, there's not that many like backup centers, rookie second round centers that get that much love. It's because of Mitch. It's because
Mm.
he does not. It's not like he does so many things better than Mitch, but some of the things that he does defensively is better than Mitch when it comes to guarding on the outside and hedging and stuff like that. But I don't think nobody else's backup center get the same type of love as Jericho Sims does, because our starting center can be replaced. Like if we had a good starting center, we wouldn't even be talking about Jericho Sims at all.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the Knicks decide to do, I'm a rock with the Knicks. I just think we can get somebody cheaper. You know what it is for us as Knicks fans, and we do this for every fan base does this, and there's nothing wrong with it. We see the player at their best.
Yeah, because we watch every game.
We're seeing the player
Yep.
at their best. And
Yep.
so when you see a player at their best, you don't want to give them up. When we see IQ already as an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
We see RJ already
not
as
me. No,
but that's what
IQ,
but
no.
that but a lot of people they see the best, you know? So
Right. You
I'm
got to
not
think
gonna
about other
change that.
teams.
I'm like, but he's not that every single game.
You should hear, like, not you should hear, but you should imagine all the other teams, they fan bases talk about their young players the same way we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of which, Steph, you said you was a big fan of Jermaine Johnson coming out of Duke, right? Remember you said he got picked by Atlanta. We didn't pick him. And he got picked by Atlanta and you couldn't believe that he fell. Do you know how many Hawks fans probably thought that he shouldn't have been in the G League and he should have got mad burned this year? It's the same thing with every other fan base.
Right.
He didn't deserve it either. Coming out of college, coming out of high school, everybody thought he was going to be one of the best players ever. It seemed like the way people was talking about him. Johnson from Duke.
Oh,
remember he slid?
Jalen Johnson.
And that's
Jalen
what
Johnson,
makes me
sorry.
think somebody is going to be on the board that we like. Because
Right.
that was the same thing when Jalen, I said, he's going to drop all the way to, what was our pick, 17?
Yeah.
And he kept dropping
Yeah.
because the Knicks.
The Hawks,
No, but listen,
Hawks
the
drafted
only
him and Sharif Cooper. They barely got any burn during the season. Their fan base are probably going nuts over them too. Those are two high profile draftees coming out of last year. So they every fan base is the same, man. We just, we overvalue our players just like they do.
The one person I had seen that was in the lottery that I know was good too, and I think Queen, you liked him too, was what's his name, the third? He play for New Orleans now.
Trey Murphy.
Trey Murphy.
Trey Murphy the third.
I like Murphy.
Out of Virginia,
boy,
right?
Look,
Virginia?
For shooting, I knew he had to work on his mid range. He had to work on going to the rim, but for shooting, I like Trey. And you know what?
He was a stereotypical.
His defense was good too.
And his defense
he
was
played
good.
very good
Right.
defense.
But
so I mean,
he was a 3-and-D poster child,
right. All of these players that we spent hours on last year in the draft, same thing we're doing this year. Most of them didn't get any burn. How many of the rookies from last year's class, which supposedly was a better draft class than this year, I think it remains to be seen, they were in the G League and on the bench.
I was a huge, or I am a huge
Bouknight.
James Bouknight. That's exactly what I was going to say. I'm a big James Bouknight.
He didn't even see it.
Didn't burn at all.
But do you think that had a lot to do with them being a playoff team? Or do you think he just wasn't ready? Because look who he had to beat out. Oubre. Who else played on the wing?
Rozier. Terry Rozier.
I would say they weren't good enough for James Bouknight. Talented as he is, he should have got. Like, he just didn't get burned. He was just stuck in the G League. They didn't even remember how we used to do Deuce. He'll like go up, come down. Like, they wasn't even doing that. Like, he was just in the G League for like a month.
I wish they would have did that for McBride too, because he wasn't playing.
I think we couldn't because of injuries.
Okay, yeah.
Remember, like all the COVID stuff happened. Like,
this COVID thing.
Yeah. Or if that case, Deuce wouldn't have got no burn at all if we was healthy.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have got any burn.
No,
I wouldn't expect
that Houston game. He showed out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Deuce gonna be all right. He just got to wait.
Appreciate you.
Salute.
Knicks Real Talk and Devon in the chat. Appreciate you. We came up together on
I told you.
MBK. He was there a bit before I came though.
I think the very first show he was on. Both of you were on there. I remember the very first show that I saw with Sim. Yeah. Devon was on there. Cool dude.
But Paris Duggar, there is a lot of draft pundits who think Ivey should be the number one pick.
Right. It's about need.
A lot of draft pundits feel like the position that he plays that he's gonna has a chance to be more of a star than these power forwards. How many power forwards go on to become stars? So there's a lot of players, draft
Unless
experts
he's
who
Tim
think he should
Duncan.
be. Yeah, who think he should be. Now, I don't know if he'll be another DSJ, but what 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 did this what it does prove though is just having athleticism is not enough. You need to
Right.
understand
That's
the
true.
game. You need to be able to play this game, think
That's
Hmm.
this
true.
game. It's not just
Hmm.
about having athleticism, you
Yep.
know?
That's true.
So that's the
I'm still
thing.
going up and get him though. Y'all can talk
What
all
makes
this
him
you
what
want
what
to.
makes him Jarrell is our resident college basketball expert. You watch college basketball, Staffer?
Yeah, a little
A little.
sometimes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Depending on who's playing.
all right.
I
Well,
don't
well,
watch
both
every
of
game,
them.
but
What's the difference between Ivy and Dennis Smith Jr. coming out of college, NC State, not,
uh,
Coming out of college, for one, Ivy's a lot bigger than him. I think DSJ's like 6'1". His arms, his wingspan's um
mhm,
lot longer.
stocky.
He's a
mhm,
better defender. When even in terms of athleticism, DSJ was an athletic freak. He still was not athletic as Jaden Ivey though. So if you're gonna, he's more athletic, more explosive. Because remember, DSJ was explosive, but he tore his knee up when he was a senior in high school. So
mhm,
he just like AJ Griffin did. So he wasn't as explosive as he should have been.
mhm.
Um, but it say if both of them came out at the same time, Jaden Ivey would be drafted before DSJ. Like he's just a better all around prospect at the time
Yeah.
that they're coming out.
At the time that they were coming out.
Yeah, like Jaden Ivey's 20 years old. Dennis Smith Jr. is about the same age when he came out. Yeah, he's a better defender. When it comes to playmaking, even though Jaden Ivey is, we say that playmaking is his room for improvement, but he's still better at that than DSJ coming out of college too.
Mm.
Like that was a big problem with DSJ coming out of college and why he slipped in the draft also because that was a player that was, he was supposed to be like the next point guard or whatever. Like he was supposed to be a top 5 pick. He slipped for a reason, and those were the reasons. At least that's what I remember.
Yeah. Paris Queen watched Wisconsin against Purdue. Johnny Davis embarrassed Ivy. Ate his lunch.
Oh Lord.
He may have. I mean, I think it brings up the question: does having a bad game or bad games in college should that affect your draft position?
I can't remember
No,
which player
absolutely not.
in college had ate him up in college, but then after when they came out to the pros, the person that got ate he ate that person lunch. Oh, but I can't remember.
Remember?
I mean, I don't.
I
I'm not.
mean, it
I
doesn't
wouldn't
make
let
any
it.
sense.
You got to look at the whole body of work. I don't think you can look at a few games, but I do think that coaches do look at level of competition. I think coaches do look at how did this player perform against the top competition versus, you know, the Division 2 schools or whatever they play at the beginning of the season. So I think they
Mm,
probably do look at conference play,
of course.
as well. So if Ivy is still ranked number 4, they still think, even despite his poor play against, who was this, Wisconsin and
Hmm.
St.
Yeah.
Francis, that they think he's a better prospect. And the coolest brings up a good point. Abaji won the NCAA championship, and he may not make the top 10.
He's not.
They look beyond that.
Right, as they should.
Yes, I think with Abaj, he got some intangibles probably that no other players don't have. He's been in college 4 years. I think he knows how to win and know what winning is about. So I feel like even though he's not in the top 10, anybody might get him, it might be a steal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he's ready to play.
Yeah.
4 years, knows the system. I think he's ready to play.
Yeah. I agree. He's another high floor guy. I think he probably do better on a team that's already has a set roster because he can come in and help right away. Shout out to Sim. Wish I could have joined you all tonight traveling to AC. I'll be there bright and
Safe
early.
travels, boss.
Him going
Safe
down there
travels.
early.
Thursday. Yeah, he going down there early
He
to
got to
That's what's
set
up.
set up.
up. He got to set up.
Yeah.
That's what up.
Big Bubba, look, be careful about that whooping, boy. You
Let me
gonna
tell you
get
something. Simden already found him a
it.
gym out in Atlantic City.
What?
He gonna be ready. He gonna be
It's a wrap, yo.
he gonna be sharp.
What?
Isaiah about to get through.
Man. Oh,
Stay up close to him. That's all I gotta say, Isaiah. Stay up close. He gonna jay your eyes out.
Right. Playing for the
what
drive.
what time does it start?
6:30, 7 o'clock,
Yeah,
something like
6.
that.
Yeah, probably around 6.
And the fun game is the following day, right?
Yes, the following day. We'll
Okay.
do that. We'll probably do
Okay.
some shooting contests as well for those of us who can't move
Well, let me
around and
tell you
play
something.
3-on-3.
I don't know if I'm gonna be at work, but I might have to take that day off and just sit down and watch
Hey
because
man.
I need to see that butt kicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to see that butt. Shout out to Big Bubba though.
Yeah. Yeah, he
I saw
said
you just put up something about Sim.
he trying to get in the gym tomorrow. I'm telling you, he ready, sharp. He gonna be sharp.
That's funny.
I could definitely shoot
Here, you gotta
and
jump.
and and my when my knees wasn't so bad, I could play in the post as well. But those days are over. Those days is over.
I'm about to say, yeah. The only thing I'm playing is the wall. I'm not playing nobody.
Hmm.
They crazy.
Right.
I see Sim put
So
Abaji could be like AC.
who's
Who's
AC?
AC?
Yeah, he's gonna send
Who's
the
AC?
itinerary out tomorrow. Okay, great.
AC Green.
Who's
Yeah,
AC, Sim?
Mm-mm.
So Abaji could be AC. I don't know who AC is.
yeah,
Six
yeah.
six for real is Abaji,
And a
and a
freakish
freakish athlete ready to play.
See, only thing about Baji though, like we already had this conversation about like
Mhm.
picking wings and where they're gonna play. Like how many minutes is he gonna get and what is he actually gonna do when he get out there? I don't see Tibbs. Like if we already got Grimes, I don't see the point of drafting a Baji.
No, well, you see, the thing about it is, you forget we moving up to number 4, so he might not be here. He might not be here. So, and we don't even have the 11 pick, so we talking 42, right?
That's a
We, yeah,
yeah.
we talking 42 now. So if we could trade probably that and probably a couple second round picks, because how much second round picks we have? A
A
lot.
lot. Yeah, a
Right,
lot.
So we could do that to jump back in the first round.
right. He's saying that he Sim was saying Abaji could be a steal.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It could be a steal.
Could
He
be.
he could be. The only thing is that he's a really good. We need good shooters. So I do like
That is
that
true.
about Abaji that he could shoot. I like that
Mm-hmm.
about AJ Griffin. He could shoot. These 39, 40, 41% shooters is just not going to cut it when you have RJ and Randall who play
Right.
below the free throw line or who's most effective below. You
Hmm.
got to surround
In the
them with
paint.
shooters who can
Right.
space
Yeah.
the floor. And that's the other thing with Mitch. You know, he down there too, bringing his guy,
He's
down
down
there.
there too.
you know, so
That's funny.
if he has this jump shot that we've been seeing and he has an expanded offensive game, we really need to see it.
Mm.
We really need to see it so we can
Oh,
create.
Mitch.
The Knicks are not going to be successful the way they are commonly constructed, where everybody is shooting around the basket or 39%. Or we're just not going to be successful that way.
Hmm.
We do need some shooters. Um,
AJ Griffin.
yeah, I mean, the knock on Abaji has been his mid-range game, but in terms of his shooting, he can shoot it.
He can definitely shoot.
And his defense, I mean, he has the defensive tools. So, but I just think 11 is a bit high, but
I
I'm
think a
okay
lot of
with Abaji.
I think a lot of people are projecting or want guards, like shooting guards that can shoot, obviously, to us because they don't either want or expect Evan Fournier and Burks to be here.
Okay. Okay.
That will have to be the only reason. Because if you really think Fournier is here to stay, at least for a couple more years, to me,
You got something
drafting
coming.
right, it has to be either you like expect a trade to come up or something. Because I don't know, I don't see them getting much burn.
That's
Like
true.
Fournier not giving up burn to no Abaji, and if he is, how much? Like I don't see, and he has Grimes to think about. I just don't see it.
If you trade Fournier and Burks, that does clear out a little because now you got
Mhm.
RJ, you got Grimes, you got
Yep.
Cam. It's still a little crowded, and you got the draft pick. You got 4.
Right. It's still
Mm-hmm.
crowded if you get rid of them. So imagine if you don't. That's what I'm saying. I like people are just I don't know if
Players
it's
need to
wishful
go.
thinking or what, but Evan Fournier is still on the Knicks roster. He's not going anywhere until he actually goes somewhere. You can't just wish that he's not on the team because you don't like him.
Right.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest, Evan
Fournier
Fournier fan
fan. I
either,
got you.
but
Right.
yeah, but
I
he's
got you.
here. Like he's not going anywhere unless we trade him
We might.
in the second year of the contract he just signed. Like, he's still got
Right.
2 more years left.
Yeah. He does. He does. The last question, just going through the rumors. Um, we didn't get a chance to address it here. Is the thought that the Knicks are interested in bringing back Carmelo Anthony? Now, I would think that that would be for leadership, kind of help Randall out if Randall is still here in terms of his mindset and hopefully mentoring him in terms of how to deal with New York. But Randall could be bristly, so he may not even be open to it or
Right.
accept it. But the other side of that is Carmelo Anthony can still play. I mean, he averaged, I think it was 14 points last year in whatever minutes he played.
hmm
And Tibbs is going to pay the best. He's going to play the best players that you feel
I was
like
about to say the same thing.
is going to help the team win. So bringing Carmelo back as a mentor in a mentor leadership role, he might get thrown out there to give significant minutes. So just your thoughts on that.
I like Melo, so I would not be upset. But like I said, it's just even in the position. So what if you want Tibbs to play Melo? What? How many minutes? Like 15.
I
So
don't
what?
really see any minutes for Melo if he see he
What?
would be
You really think so? You really think so?
where would he get where would he this is where the fan base would be upset. I'm gonna tell you where his minutes would come
Okay.
at the 4 backing up Randall.
Right. Exactly. I was
And
gonna say
now
the exact
Obi
same
not
thing.
getting any time.
I
I
was
don't
gonna.
see he
Hmm.
playing the 3.
I was gonna say even if he did, it would take like not two of the best players, but the two of the main players that we want to see is Obi and Cam.
Right.
He's cutting into those two specifically. He's cutting into both of their minutes, whether he plays the 3 or the 4, because Cam is playing both, and Obi was probably going to play both.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's cutting into their minutes. He's going to have to.
I just don't see him coming here sitting on the first of all, he's not gonna come unless he assesses the roster.
hmm
So I think the best chance the Knicks have if they do want Carmelo is to upgrade this roster.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
If he's coming, he's not going to come on the roster the way the Knicks are constructed right now.
Yeah,
I
but he
just don't
wants to
see it.
win. He
Right.
wants to
I
win.
just don't see it.
He
Um,
shouldn't.
Right. So they would have to up now. If they do the Kyrie thing, yes.
Yeah, that's a different
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. But that's a whole shift
No, I'm
though.
about to say
That's
Kyrie,
a whole
so
shift.
Kyrie, Melo, and Randall on the same team.
Oh
I don't
Lord, recipe of a disaster.
yeah, yeah.
No defense at all will be
It's,
playing.
it's going to be interesting. Let's just say that.
Sam said he would play over Obi and Cam. Well, let
Yeah,
me ask the
he would.
chat. One, do you think he would play over Obi and Cam? And would you be okay with that?
Not the way they be talking about Obi and Cam. No.
Yeah.
Nah, you shouldn't want. Not if you think Obi Toppin is going to be any type of player in this league going into his third year.
Yeah.
You can't. If you're an Obi fan and you want to see him succeed, you can't possibly want Melo on this team. You can't.
For real.
In that case, you
For
just
real.
him backwards. That doesn't. It doesn't build like it doesn't hold.
No water.
No water. Not for Obi. Like it's bad for Obi.
Right.
Be completely bad for Obi and Cam, but mainly Obi though.
But listen, you can also argue that at 99 years old, if he can come in and beat them out, they ain't ready. You can make
Exactly.
that argument too. Because
True.
people are like, oh, he shouldn't come. He would definitely play over Obi. He would definitely play over Cam. And no disrespect to Carmelo, he's one of the 75 best players that
Right.
ever played this game. At least he was voted,
Mhm.
that way.
Yep.
At 35,
Right.
if he could give better minutes than Obi and Cam, then we got a problem. No?
Right. Because it's not like Melo was some like super athletic, or still is. Like he's just out there playing fundamentally sound basketball
Right.
and still beating them out. So if he's still beating them out, just doing that and shooting jumpers, then yeah, we have a problem.
Wow.
Yeah, we would definitely have a problem.
I mean, I guess we can. Can you play small with Randall and Melo? Let Melo play some 3, Randall at 4, Mitch at 5. As long as Mitch is at 5,
I'm
because
about
you
to
know
say,
how
'cause-
Tibbs like his rim protection.
right. That and
Yeah, you
who
can.
is Melo going to play at the 3? Like defense wise, like
No,
he
but
stopped doing that years ago.
nah, but if you look at Boston's lineup at one time, they
Mhm.
had Al Horford. No, they had Williams, Al Horford. I think it was Jalen, and then what's his name?
Brown,
We just talking about him. No,
Tatum.
Brown at the 3, Tatum at the 2, and
Mhm.
Marcus Smart. But look at that lineup though, and it was effective. It was
Those are,
effective as
but those are
hell.
two-way players, though.
Yeah.
You
No,
got
but no. But I don't. Is Horford a 2-way player? What's his Williams a 2-way player?
well, that's a very good defensive team. Put it
Right.
that way.
You got to think about they got Tatum, Brown, who are both 2 ways, right? They're their
Marcus
point guard.
Smart is the 3 and D.
I was about to say their point guard just won Defensive Player of the Year. Williams is a very good rim protector and plays defense. So
And
they have
Horford
a
Yeah,
is
but
very
no,
and
but
good
no,
Horford is
defensive
a
but no,
team.
but
stretch
we
5.
talking about
Right.
no, but I think we was talking about a lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was saying, look at that lineup. Even though it was big, I think whatever
Oh,
we do like that could be effective also too.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. It just depends on it's not just the size though, it's the players. We don't have
Right.
Marcus Smart. We don't have Marcus Smart at the point, regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like if
We
he's
don't have
the
Jalen Brown and
right,
and Tatum on the
we don't
wing.
have them regardless. So regardless of
We
the
don't have a stretch
size,
5.
right? Like they're made up completely different than us.
Look at Horford. Like Horford also bust another narrative that you got to only have guys in the same timeline. You can't be bringing in a vet to play.
Yep.
Him and McCollum, who came in, was not in the timeline with Brandon Ingram and those other guys, and just really elevated them.
Hmm.
And Horford as well elevated them to the point that they're thinking about picking up his option, which I think is what. I think is if they don't pick it up, he'll get 19. If they do pick it up, he'll get 25 or something, something like
They paying
some
Al Horford 25.
he's I think this is the last year
Well, dang.
of the contract. So
No, I mean, look at his season. He had a very good season. He had a
very,
good
very good
season.
season. And it kind of changed
Yeah,
my mind. And so now I'm kind of thinking that you can have players on different timelines in your starting lineup
Especially if
and
they
on your
have the
team.
skill set to go along with the roster that you have.
Right.
Like Al Horford, I mean, don't get me wrong, he's Al Horford. He's a good player regardless. But if he played for another team, he doesn't do that. He doesn't do the
true.
same thing. Like when he was with OKC, he did not do that in OKC that he did with
Hmm.
Boston because they're completely two different teams.
Hmm,
Like all they needed from him was to shoot wide open threes and play defense.
Hmm.
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah. Boston is gonna listen now.
They're gonna be a problem.
They're gonna be a problem.
Hmm.
Like Jason Tatum, everybody keep talking about Jason Tatum and all the turnovers in the finals. He's still only 24, and that was his first time going.
Right? He wouldn't be the first one to struggle. Go back and
Yep.
look at LeBron's first few times in the playoffs, especially
Only
again in that
Hmm.
San Antonio series.
hmm The fact that he even got there in the first place was crazy though, because he was only 21.
Right. Right.
That's not
Exactly.
normal.
Yeah,
Right.
That's not normal
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
That's
mean,
another level.
even though that's not normal, I would love to see that for the Knicks. A rookie. You're live, Jarrell. I'm
A
serious.
rookie come in here and just take us to the
Rookie come
finals
in
in
here
two
and just
years.
take us to the finals, yo. I'll take that too.
In this Eastern Conference,
Mm.
Yeah, in this
well,
Eastern Conference.
we
I
better
like
hope.
how the strength of like teams like switched damn near overnight to everybody. Like the East is crazy now compared to how it was
But you
like a
could
few years
change your
ago.
fortunes in one off season. You
Yep.
really can. You really
Because
can.
the West dominated, that side of the bracket for like how
Hmm.
many years? Now the East is better than the West.
Yeah.
Hmm.
From top to bottom, I should say.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Any
because the West used to dominate all the time.
Yep. Well,
Go
you got to
ahead,
think
Creed.
about
I'm
the
sorry.
Lakers, and yeah, all the dynasties are over there.
yeah.
All the teams that won multiple championships: the Spurs, the Lakers, Golden State. Like the East, only the only team that was, I guess, is Boston. Is the only team that like goes not every year, but they go a lot. Obviously,
Any before we get out of here, any quick thoughts on Terry Rozier? The
well,
Nick the
he a
so the
free
sh-
agent.
Small
he's not.
guard.
But Charlotte may, in order to sign Miles Bridges, maybe looking to shed some salary.
Mm.
I see everybody. See Terry Rozier.
Ah,
He's not a real point guard either.
He's
With
not.
his point guard size. So if you don't want Jaden Ivey because he's not a point guard, you shouldn't want Terry Rozier either. Like he's just a small two guard, just like all the other players that we're talking about, or a combo guard.
yeah,
He's not
but
a point guard either.
he's good, but he's streaky though.
Right.
I
He's
like his
clutch
game a
though.
lot. Yeah, yeah, that too for a little small short guy. You know what I
He
mean?
is,
Yeah, I like him. I like him. I like him. I
but
like him. I ain't giving up the young boy for an old boy.
Right. And not a sign and trade with Mitch, right? To get him.
now what if
Sign
we could
trade
sign and
Mitch.
trade Mitch though?
Sign trade Mitch. What we getting back in the deal?
Rozier,
Rozier.
scary terry,
That's it.
straight up. We need that shit.
What you trying to get from Mitch?
Yeah, we can't act like Mitch made an all-star team. Stafford like they're not gonna want. They don't want to give up nothing else, bro. Like,
Rozier.
right, like
Mm,
Mitch ain't made no all-star. We can't demand anything, really.
mm.
They have a picture
Who's
of
spot? I'm trying to figure out whose spot he gonna take.
Robinson shooting,
Mm.
and he says working on it. The goal is 80%. Mitchell
At,
Robinson shoot 80%
at
from
what?
the field.
from the rim. Like he's not shooting no 80% of
Well,
nothing.
that's the goal. That's what he's saying here. That's his goal.
Well, if that's the case, what was his goal last year, the year before that, year before that? Like, don't tell me that's your
Ah,
goal when you shooting half of that. Like you shooting half of that. Like if you're a 25% 3-point shooter, don't come out and say the goal is 50% next year. No, no, like give me 60% first. How about have a
yo,
goal that's attainable?
boy, it's a real hard boy.
80%. Stop it, man. Like, come on, man. See, that's the type of thing. Yeah, I want him gone, Staff. I'm sorry. I don't like just hearing that. I don't want him. Because you know he
Mm.
not shooting 80%. It's not even gonna be close, man. Nah. You just say that just to say it.
All right, this is I thought I scoured the news before I came on, but apparently
You
Ian
got something
Begley
else?
reports that the Knicks have contacted the Pistons about trading up to the 5th pick. Cam Reddish name has come up in the conversation, and would
Mm.
fit Detroit's timeline. But at 5, who you
At
getting at
five, I
5?
That's
think
that's
it's gonna
that's
it's gonna be
Keegan Murray, Keegan
well,
Murray, or whatever his name is.
I
And
think they're
that's a
saying
power forward.
here's my thing. I think that still might be Jay Ivey. Like Jay Ivey to the Kings is not a lock. Somebody can go before him.
Right.
They have 2 point guards on their team already that they like. They got rid of Tyrese Halliburton because of it. So if they do not draft Jaden Ivey, I think us going to get Jaden Ivey at 4 is the reasons why the Kings don't want Jaden Ivey. Or
Mm.
in that case, it wouldn't be a question. We wouldn't be able to go up there and get him. So 5, say if they don't draft him. So if you can't do a deal with 4, try to do a deal with 5. Because Jaden
Mm.
Ivey would still be on the board if they don't
Right.
draft him. That's all.
Yeah. This
Because he
came
really
up.
doesn't fit their team. They should draft somebody like Keegan Murray or somebody like that.
Who should draft
The Kings.
the Kings? Okay,
He'll
gotcha.
slide right in at the 4, and especially if they're going to put Sabonis at the 5. He'd be a perfect 4 for
True.
them.
True.
Right.
But that's just thinking outside the box. I'm just saying that just because we talking about the Pistons, that doesn't mean we're talking about a different player. That could still be Jaden Ivey.
Right.
Gotcha. The Knicks are fielding calls on Cam Reddish. A handful of teams, including the Suns and Rockets, have shown interest.
Okay.
I mean, I think the thing with Cam is the contract.
Mm-hmm.
He's up to be paid. I believe it's next season.
Yep.
Um, I would like to see what he at least has this season coming up, but depends on what the Knicks are trying to get back. Depends on what they do. No matter what, if we're a
Hmm.
better team, I'm good.
Right.
Right. Like, yeah. Much as I like Cam, if he's not going to show us anything, then yeah, we can. Like I said before, I'm down to trade anybody as long as we can win. Like if we can
Yep.
get something good for Cam, or say if Cam goes to the Kings because we move up for Ivy, I'm cool with that. Like I'm willing to say that, yeah, I can do that. I'm fine. I would not be upset.
Right.
And I like Cam, but yeah, at this point, I would definitely want Jay Ivey over him.
I've been saying Cam was a trade chip a long time ago.
He was.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody didn't want to believe me. He's part of the rotation. He's this, he's that. Okay. Now when he get moved now, we're going back to all those players who was ranting and raving about this kid. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how high I'm in on or how high I am on Keegan Murray for the Knicks. I think if you're gonna trade up, get Ivy or one of those other bigs. I'm not
Oh,
trading up in the 5
oh
for
yeah.
Keegan
I
Murray.
don't. No, I don't want Keegan
Hmm.
Murray at all. No,
Nah,
not a big
but
fan
we
of his game.
already got power forwards already. We don't need another power forward.
And if we did get another power forward, we don't need him. Like we would need somebody like Jabari Smith. You know what I'm saying? Paolo. somebody like that, somebody dynamic that can actually crack this roster.
Right.
Keegan Murray not cracking this roster at
Nope.
all. Like I don't see what he would be doing behind Randall and Obi. Nah.
You don't think he can beat out? I don't think he can beat out Randall. You don't think he could beat out Obi?
No, no. I mean, let's see. Like his shooting, the only reason he would beat out Obi is because of his shooting. Like they would have to think of him as a knockdown shooter at the four, and that's obviously not Obi, at least not yet.
Mm.
But other
True.
than that, like I don't know, he might be a better defender, but I don't see him going any place and just killing like that. No,
Right.
he needs time just like everybody else does.
Yeah. I agree. Any last words? Anything we didn't talk about today that you want to put on the table and bring up?
Nah, man, it's draft time. Like we
Yeah.
how many
Mm-hmm.
shows we've been talking about the same players? It's time. It's like put up or shut up time, man. Like I'm ready to go. I
Yeah.
can't wait till Thursday. I can't wait, man. I'm mad. I got to
Hmm.
go to work that day. Like I got to wait all the way until at nighttime to go to Atlantic City.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm going to work. I'm gonna be thinking about the draft all day. Everybody's going to be locked in on Twitter and ESPN or whatever because of the trade rumors and stuff. So we'll see. Like it's an exciting time. I love the draft.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I just don't want to be disappointed with that 11th pick. That's it. I don't want to be discussing who we think is the top plays and then the Knicks just come out of
But but hold on though. Like that, only the players that we talked about are you cool with though? Like who are you not cool with that we haven't talked about? Like we talked about damn near
like
everybody.
I think if the Knicks took Eason at 11, I think I would be disappointed. And I like Eason. I think he, I think I would be disappointed because I just think there would be other players on the board. If
Right.
You don't
yeah,
think he'll be a good fit, Brennan?
I mean yeah, I mean yeah, I
If
mean
he was
he
to get
would
rid
def
of if he was to get rid of Grimes, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like a
Oh
lot of these
God.
dudes, man, don't get me wrong. I don't really, I hate crapping on players or whatever, but a lot of these players, there's a lot of redundancy when it comes to just the players that we already have on our roster, especially when it comes to
Mm,
these guards, man. Like unless you're a point, like it's not that many point guards in the draft. That's why a lot of the players we're trying to make them into point guards just because they
Right,
play make well.
right.
right.
It's because there's no point guards in the draft.
That's
So
true. That's true.
because of that, like even with all the twos and threes coming into this year in the draft, like if we draft one, you always just have to think of yourself whose minutes that he's taking if we don't do
Hmm.
anything to this roster.
I like him too, C Mac, just not at 11. Let's
And not
answer
at
this
11.
this last question by that Sim put up because I was thinking about this too. Do you pull the trigger on 5 with Detroit if Ivy gets to 5, or do you make the move now and just make the pick even if Ivy goes? I think you wait.
You have to wait.
I think with both of those, if you're going to trade with Sacramento, if you're going to trade with Detroit, I'm waiting to see who's falling before I
Right.
pull the trigger.
I,
But
Right.
unless in the top 4, if you're trading with Sac and you're comfortable with any of those top 4 players,
right. You
then you could
can't.
do it ahead of
Right.
time.
Never target.
Right.
I would never do a trade before the draft if I'm only targeting one player.
Right.
Because it only takes one team to fall in love with the same player and either do the same thing you did, or the team in front of you could just so happen to pick that player, and then what?
Right, right. If you like just one guy, wait and see what happens
Right.
with them. But if you like a few guys, then you can do it ahead of time.
To me, like I would have that with Detroit. I would have that deal on the table. Obviously, it'll be contingent on the fact that Jane Ivy actually dropped to them.
Right.
Detroit better take Ivy. They playing around, trying to trade the pick and be cute.
Right. Because him and Kay Cunningham would be in
Mm.
today's NBA, that is a very, very, very nice backcourt of the
Right.
future. They
Mm-hmm.
complement each other very, very well.
Yeah, yes
That
they
backcourt will
do.
be crazy going forward. So I don't know. I don't think they'll do it.
Yeah.
I think it would have to be Sacramento. I think Detroit.
That's a stepping stone for them if everything turn out good.
Right.
Right.
Because I don't think Detroit is a win now team either. Like the only
No,
team
no,
up
no,
there
no.
in the top 5 to me that's even close to being win now is Sacramento. Just because Fox, how old is he? They got some bonus there now.
Right.
Like it's naturally for like out of all the teams in the top 5, they are the ones that should be not necessarily in win now mode, but
Right.
more in win now mode than the rest of them.
And the only reason they're up there is because they got moved up in the lottery,
Right.
Yeah.
right? Because they would have been further down, just going by their record.
Yep. They
Um,
moved up. Detroit moved down, right? They were supposed to get like the first pick. They moved all the way down to 5.
yeah,
For real?
So,
they
yeah,
had equal
so
chance
right.
to get the
Okay.
first pick. Them and two others. I want to say it was Houston and was it Orlando or OKC? But it was three of them that had the best shot of getting the number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
And they
Oh
moved all the
wow.
way down to 5. And that's what I'm saying. There's no guarantees with this lottery.
So
They
imagine
they
they fan base. I know they
right.
was hot.
Yeah. I mean the year we got RJ, we had the worst record in the league, and we had
Moved down.
us and the
20
two other teams
games
had
or
the best
17 games or
chance
something like that.
of getting the number one pick.
Right.
It didn't happen. Anyway,
OB.
yeah.
OB.
That didn't happen anyway. Like yo, Steph is super funny.
It didn't happen.
It's
Didn't
like the
happen.
PSD from all the Knicks fans. Just the misery that we've been going through for the
I think
past
we
20
just
years.
need
Yeah.
something.
Trying to tell you.
We just need something electric and magical to happen
Right.
on Thursday.
Right.
You know,
So if we did
just
move
to
up to
lift
4,
our spirits up a little.
that draft party is going to turn into something else if we move up to 4. What?
What?
We might not go home until Saturday or Sunday.
Oh
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah.
Well,
We
Listen,
partying, man.
it's gonna be
we
parading in Madison Square, not the Garden, but what you call it,
Atlantic City.
Central Park.
Oh,
Yeah,
Central Park.
Manhattan.
Yes.
yeah. We move up to 4. I'm putting my credit card right at the bar.
Right.
And everybody we just
We
gonna
ain't
have a
going. Ain't
good
nobody
time.
going to sleep that night. Nah, everybody room gonna be empty. We gonna be chilling.
Chilling.
That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah,
We shall see,
Like
man.
nothing even happened.
I'm
yeah, yeah, yeah.
looking forward to seeing everybody, man. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I appreciate you, Jarrell. I appreciate you, Staffer. All of those hanging out. Paris Duggar, every week. I appreciate you. Bodega Wi-Fi, C-Mac, Sam on
Word.
his way to Atlantic City.
Be safe,
Set up for
General, on the
that
road.
Bodega Wi-Fi Raw Rosado. Harlem Girl, appreciate you. Ashley Inc. 1. Divine Knicks Real Talk was in the house. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Building Blocks. Angel Torres. Let me see. The Coolest 718.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Public Enemy number 1. I think I got everybody.
I saw
Nathaniel Ming. I appreciate you. Nathaniel Ming
Right.
threw something in my comments and got me thinking. We was talking about, it was one of the videos I put out. And I said, but what about his ceiling? He said, I don't pay attention to that. He said, Ben Simmons got a higher ceiling than Booker. What does it mean?
Oh
And it's
wow.
just true. You have a high ceiling, but if you're not doing what you need to do to reach it,
That is true.
you know,
It
shout
don't
out
matter
to
what your ceiling is.
right. Shout out to Tony Crowe.
Because
Who's
like
in
if
here?
it mattered, if it mattered, then we wouldn't be having all these conversations about trading Cam. For one
Right.
thing,
For real.
we want to
Right.
talk about
If it was
ceilings.
just about ceiling, he's the most
Right.
he's the talented player on the team, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah. Ally Wise, appreciate you as well. We are out of here. The next time we're on next Tuesday, we're gonna have a lot to talk about in terms of the draft and I believe
What?
trades. And we'll have free agent talk because a little bit after we're gonna meet on the 28th, and on I think it's July 2nd, free agency starts. So the next
Yes,
2 weeks, the
ma'am.
Knicks have the opportunity to reshape this roster. So let's see.
I
Let's
think it's
see.
gonna be different, man. I hope so. We'll see
Uh,
though.
yeah, I feel like That's right, Josh. Buying around for the whole group if we move up to 4.
Yeah, we move up to 4. Yeah, we go. A lot of people gonna be spending money that night. Ain't we in Lane City?
Right?
Okay.
Ain't we in AC?
Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Josh. But yeah,
Mhm.
we are out of here. Happy drafting,
Peace.
Knick family. See you next time.
Smash that like button.
On your way out. Appreciate it. And
Word.
if you haven't
Yes.
already, please subscribe to the channel. There's more coming. Appreciate you.